A pleasant morning, everyone. I welcome you all to the third day of our international conference on contemporary researchers in engineering, science, management, and arts, ICCRESMA 2024, created and powered by Center of Research and Training, National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore. I would now like to welcome and introduce our distinguished conference co-convener, Dr. Aarti Chandani. Professor Dr. Aarti possesses more than 25 years of experience in teaching and research. She has published more than 50 papers in reputed journals and is the editor of 2 books which are published by Springer. She is the guest editor for the special issue of 2 journals of InterScience. She has also been a keynote speaker and session chair at various national and international conferences. She has received the Best Teacher Award in Financial Management from Dainik Bhaskar National Education Leadership Awards in 2013 and the prestigious AIMS JIMI Outstanding Women Management Researcher Award in 2022. In commemorating her laudable academic accomplishments, she has been bestowed with Outstanding Educator Award and Lifetime Achievement Award by the renowned NFED for the years 2013 and 2023 respectively. Currently, she is serving as Professor and Chair of Film Program in Management at Jaipuriya Institute of Management, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. I now invite our conference co-convener, Professor Dr. Aarti Chandani, to deliver the welcome note.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, ma'am. So, good morning, one and all present here. I, Dr. Aarti Chandani, welcome you all to the International Conference on Contemporary Research in Engineering, Science, Management, and Arts, powered by CRT NFED Coimbatore. As we know, the conference started on 22nd of February, and today we are approaching to the last leg of the conference. I am sure that the conference has been a rich and learning experience to one and all present. I myself have enjoyed all the sessions thoroughly. We have an exciting array of speakers lined up for today, and it is my privilege and honor to welcome the speakers to this august gathering. First of all, I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, examiner, New York City, Department of Civil Administration Services, USA, for his benign presence. We are honored to have you, sir, here. We have Dr. Sita Lakshmi, Associate Professor and Assistant Head, ALC, Tamil, Asian Languages and Cultures, National Institute of Education, Nanyang Technological University, NTU, Singapore. It is our honor to have you here, madam. We welcome you. We have yet another speaker, Dr. R. Rajeshwari, Professor, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Government College of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, who will be sharing her knowledge and experience with us. We welcome you, madam. Please join us in welcoming Dr. Renu Yadav, Associate Professor, Department of Education, Central University of Haryana, Mehandgarh, Haryana. We are truly obliged to you for gracing this occasion, madam. Next, we have Dr. G. Subbalakshmi, Assistant Professor, School of Law, Pondicherry University, Pondicherry, who will be enriching us with her words of wisdom. Thank you, madam, for accepting our invitation. Last but not least, we have Mr. Owais Khan, co-founder, Sitanwada Private Limited, Bangalore, Karnataka, who will be sharing his entrepreneurial journey with us. We welcome you, sir. The speakers are not only from the different parts of India, but from the different parts of the world, as we can see. With these speakers who carry a lot of knowledge and experience with them, the learnings are going to be of the next level. Once again, I welcome you on behalf of National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore. I would like to thank Professor Ganeshan for allowing me to be the part of this special conference and allowing me to welcome you all and set the stage for today. Let's have a fruitful and researchful day today. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Aarti. Thank you for the welcome note. I now have immense pleasure in welcoming our honorable keynote speaker, Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, and introduced to the select gathering. Dr. Baby Sam is a social entrepreneur, business and organization mentor, and a life coach from New York. Professionally, he has more than 2 decades of senior management experience, both for profits and non-profits in the US, India, and the Middle East. His leadership cuts across domains such as engineering, education, ICT, advertising, digital media and design, youth development, and community welfare. Dr. Sam engages with organizations and individuals alike, focusing on personal and business transformations, conducting training sessions, and speaking engagements. He has delivered over 200 international keynote addresses and has facilitated more than 50 training for K-12 and higher education faculty, students, corporate and youth, speaking on topics such as leadership, personal transformation, positive psychology, social impact, and more. He is passionate about making an impact through social change. He is a member of the boards for several non-profit social enterprises. He was involved with the higher education as well as in advisory roles for institutes in the Middle East as well as India. In the corporate sector, he serves as a business consultant specializing in turnarounds, strategic thinking, and crisis management, and has led several businesses. In addition, he is also the author of 2 books and holds a doctorate in management studies. Currently, he is serving as the examiner for New York City's Department of Civil Administration Services, USA. I now invite our honorable speaker, Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you for the very warm welcome, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, let me first get my screen shared. Can you just confirm if you're able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is visible. It is fully visible.
Perfect. Good morning, one and all, and good evening from New York. And it is indeed an honor and pleasure to deliver the keynote address at the International Conference on Contemporary Research in Engineering, Science, Management, and Arts, powered by NFED. I take this opportunity to extend my thanks to Professor Ganesh for this invitation. Thank you, Professor. And I think without further ado, because we have a topic here which I normally take a couple of days to conclude, as a workshop presentation, but I would try to keep it within 15 minutes. So without further ado on the topic, balancing work-life in a VUCA world. Right. We live in a VUCA world. Wars, conflicts, disasters, climate change, pandemic. We live in a volatile, complex, uncertain, ambiguous world. And this leads to increased stress and anxiety, lack of clarity and direction, increased workload and pressure, and decision-making challenges. Now, it is said that a lifetime of career is, it takes up to something like 90,000 hours of a life. That's a significant chunk of a life, in fact. So this is a very, very important topic, I would say. Work-life balance is all about managing both professional and personal life to make both satisfying and fulfilling and meaningful engagement. Now, this is the ability to manage one's professional and personal life in such a fashion. But the thing is, when we talk about something like sustainable work-life balance, this needs to be a combined effort of the society employees and the organization. This is a wheel by itself. Now, let's look at very quickly what society or governments, what can they do about it? Local and federal governments can bring about social changes through dialogues and policies. They can have protective labor laws, pay parity, childcare policies and resources, social welfare, social changes, and the likes. Now, when we look at what organizations can do, with or without the government mandates, they can introduce initiatives which can be beneficial for employees across the system. They can promote communication and transparency with their organization, ease and efficiency of working. They can ensure a positive and nurturing work culture. Initiatives like remote working, flexible scheduling, 4-day work week is no more a fancy terminology. A few countries have already introduced the same, and it's working fine with them. Flexible leave policies, childcare support, mental health resources, employee development and educational support, and obviously an inclusive work environment. But today, let's focus on what employees or as individuals can do at their level to ensure the better work-life balance. That's our focus mostly today. First and foremost, I know that it sounds a bit cliched, but we're getting into a little, deep into the topic as we move on with the slides. But as much as it sounds cliched, that is the most important thing that we need to keep in mind. You need to prioritize your health and fitness over anything and everything, no matter what. Get a good night's sleep, eat healthy, balanced diet, drink enough water, regular exercises, and meditation. At least embrace silence for at least 3 minutes a day. Very important. In a world of digitalization, in a world where we are bombarded with data, endless consumption of data is the biggest challenge that we face. So this is very important. Likewise, we have to protect and ensure the psychological well-being, which is very critical and very important. A person has to identify what is causing them stress. It could be from work, it could be from the financial pressure, it could be losing a loved one, new challenges in job. No matter what, reduce or counter the stress of positive aspects like yoga, meditation, hobbies, and whatever helps to, de-stress. Another important factor is being mindful. We need to be mindful of what we think, what we say, what we do. The more you're mindful, the better we will be able to identify our own emotions and manage them. Many studies prove that good positive relationship and friendships are crucial for a balanced life. So relationship with family and friends are very important for a balanced lifestyle. So what can be done is to connect more with your loved ones. Check in, find excuses of connecting with people. To take an initiative to keep in touch with and plan social connections, social activities, social engagements, it's very important. Another important thing is clearly reserve time for leisure, for themselves, apart from time spent with family and other chores. It's very important. This can be for activities that keep them in a state of flow, which means keeping them fully engaged and immersed. Generally, people experience flow when they are able to use their skills, strengths, and attention for a challenging task. So leisure, finding your flow is very important for a work-life balance. At the same time, establishing financial security is also important, as it can reduce several stresses in life and bring about stability and balance. Agreed. Regardless of where a person is in their career or life, they must strive towards growth and transformation and be on a path of continual evolution and betterment, whether in career or personal growth. There is no something like, you have concluded the path and there's nothing further. No, There's always a space for improvement. An important tool for this is goal setting. Psychologists consider goal settings as a crucial element of improving happiness and well-being. So having your goals set is very critical for a work-life balance moving further. Next is to work on competency and capabilities. Now, competency now means a host of skills such as your foundational skills, the 21st century skills, your digital literacy, obviously the job-specific skills, which is technical, vocational, whatever is based on your job profile. It's very important. In order for an individual to constantly upskill themselves, they have to adopt the mindset of a lifelong learner. You need to have a mindset of not only learning, but also to unlearn and relearn. New learning, new information, and the likes. Likewise, it is also important to strive towards identifying one's passion and purpose. A purpose that makes a positive difference to society and community, especially as part of something bigger than ourselves. Very important. So it's just not about passion, but passion aligned with purpose is what brings in meaning into our system. The very interesting theory, the theory of well-being, one of the positive psychology tools for well-being is called PERMA, which is an acronym for positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, accomplishment, and achievements. Using these as a framework for attaining well-being. So this is a concept and topic by itself, but I urge you to go in further and read about this. This is developed by somebody by name Martin Seligman, who is supposed to be called the father of positive psychology, and very interesting concept called PERMA, and very interesting concept for a theory for well-being. Now, these are some of the action areas for individuals to set and improve their work-life balance. Now, let's very quickly look at some techniques that they can adopt in this endeavor. The first and foremost thing that is needed is to begin with a thorough self-assessment. Take a good look at oneself. That is very important. One assessment is the energy meter, a matrix that plots your energy levels against pleasantness. This can be used to check one's energy levels and see whether they stand in terms of their energy. It's very important and very, very interesting to have a look at this and see where we stand in this matrix. Another important assessment tool is your stress bucket. A simple exercise that can help individuals recognize those activities or situations that contribute most to their stress. Could be a family relationship stress, lack of sleep, health worries, anxiety, job problems. Then it is an imaginary bucket one carries, which slowly fills up with when we experience some different types of stress. Now, then what happens to that? Those tabs that you can see out here are activities that help to lighten the load. It could be exercise, meditating, reading, taking a break, or asking for help, whatever works for a person. So this is a very interesting model, the stress bucket model as it is. Another interesting one, another interesting tool is the Wheel of Life, a concept developed by Paul Mayer, who divided a circle into 8 areas of life that needs attention and balance, which you obviously know: personal growth and learning, spiritual, business and career, finances, health and fitness, fun and recreation, relationship, family, and friends. Now, one of the most important things for an effective work-life balance to thrive in one's career and personal lives, one of the most important qualities and skills needed to be able to manage one's time efficiently and effectively. Professor Ganesh is someone whom I really look up to when it comes to the time management and the way he manages and the way he organizes things. Highly commendable. When it comes to work-life balance, this is one important aspect that we need to keep in mind in terms of, we could even delegate things, we could outsource, use our productive hours wisely, break unhealthy habits no matter what, but we need to have set this on motion, our time management skills. Another important skill is to adapt. We don't like changes. Embrace the whole concept of change. That is very important, when it comes to work-life balance. Equally important is a growth mindset. Very critical. What do you mean by a growth mindset? We can see this very, very, very easily from this cartoon. For example, if we have a fixed mindset, it says that my first idea didn't work up, so I give up. But a growth mindset states that I can try another idea. I'm not good at this. Then, as far as a growth mindset goes, it asks for, what am I missing? I can't make this any better. No, I can improve with effort. So it goes on. So it's very important to have a growth mindset in place. A helpful tool to implement one's goal is WOOP. Not getting into a detail of WOOP, but WOOP stands for wish, outcome, obstacle, and plan. First is you wish for something, then you find the best outcome of it, find out the obstacles, and then, plan it out. That's how WOOP works. Coming to the last few slides of this presentation this morning, we all know Maslow's need hierarchy theory. The most important thing is that we all aim to reach the self-actualization level. Now, what is self-actualization is all about, or otherwise what is life, is the achievement of one's full potential through creativity, independence, spontaneity, and a grasp of the real world. This happens when one maximizes their potential, doing the best that they are capable of doing. In this book by Bronnie Ware, an Australian palliative nurse who has counseled the dying for their last days, talks of the epiphanies, thoughts, and regrets of these nearly or nearing to end their lives. These are the top 5 regrets of the dying, an international bestseller. It says, the topmost regret of a person when in the deathbed is, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. The other 4 major regrets are, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I had the courage to express my feeling. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And I wish that I had let myself be happier. So my point here is, in order to thrive and flourish as individuals, it is important to learn the lessons from these regrets and opt for a more balanced life. With this, I conclude this short keynote. Thank you so much for the patient listening. And once again, good morning and good evening from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baby Sam. Thank you so much. It was very interesting, insightful, very thought-provoking.
That
Thank
was
you
a
so
stunning
much.
presentation by you, and thanks for citing me as a time management example. Okay, that's what I am always, you know that. And
I know, Dr. Ganesh.
very insightful, very great self-management principles and all you've been talking. And that's very necessary for today's researchers here and these others gathering. Thank you so much for the time. And I request you to be for some more time, because we have to take screenshots of other speakers or all who are going to be available for at least some more time. You can be staying in this platform for a while.
Dr. Ganesh, it's 11:20 here.
Just 10 minutes
Sir,
more.
we will take screenshots with whoever is present here, so no problem.
Please. Okay.
We'll continue with that.
I
No
really
problem.
appreciate that.
Then you may retire.
You.
You can go with the screenshots now itself. Then you
Yes.
can.
Just give me a moment here. Let me add everyone.
Majority are there, I suppose. I think.
Yes, majority of them are here, sir. Just give me a moment. Yes. And request the participants, the organizing members who are present, kindly switch on your video so that I can take a group screenshot. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Dr. Sam, you may
Thank you.
retire. You may retire. I know the time is 11:20 p.m. there. You may retire, no problem. And thank you so much for the presence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I now express my warm welcome to our next distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Sita Lakshmi. Dr. Sita Lakshmi has led teaching and research at National Institute of Education, concerned primarily with standard spoken Tamil, curriculum review, classroom pedagogy, Tamil pedagogy for the Tamil diaspora, and teaching Tamil through media. She has also served as visiting scholar at the Penn State University, Pennsylvania, USA, San Jose State University, California, USA, and University of Hong Kong. Dr. Sita Lakshmi has successfully led 6 educational research projects as principal investigator. She was also involved in nearly 6 projects as co-principal investigator and 3 projects as collaborator with other academic researchers. She has published her research papers in nearly 40 conference proceedings in national and international research journals and has authored 15 books and monographs, including 3 creative literary and has translated books. She has delivered keynote, special addresses, plenary addresses at more than 20 conferences held locally and internationally. She's currently serving as Associate Professor and Assistant Head at Asian Languages and Cultures Department, National Institute of Education at Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Dr. Sita Lakshmi, to deliver the keynote address. Kindly, just a moment, sir. Kindly unmute yourself, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning to all. Actually, here we are having good afternoon. First, dear conference delegates, good morning. And here it is in Singapore, it's already afternoon. First and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to Prof. Ganesan, conference convener and director, for his well-planned conference for 3 days. It's not very easy to conduct a conference for 1 day, but this international conference for 3 days, and his organizing committee to their prompt service, including their timely reminders. That is very commendable. Then this conference has a number of keynote speakers and paper presenters. In a way, this is a cluster conference of several domains and witnessing encouraging participations and presentations from the conference delegates. This would not be possible without all of our support and knowledge sharing based on the research, development, and training. Okay, now I will share my slides. Can you able to see? Oh, I have to go for the slide.
Yes, ma'am. Now we can see.
Slide mode. Yeah, okay. I think the slide mode is here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, my abstract. Only I'm moving the photos. Okay, my abstract is mentioning about the use of Tamil language, because Tamil language is one of the official languages in Singapore. Most of the students are studying, the Indian students are studying Tamil as their second language. And then their first language is English. The second language is considered as a mother tongue language for Indian students. Indian students also having 5 non-Tamil Indian languages also. But these Chinese and then Malay communities also learning Malay and Chinese and Malay respectively as their mother tongue languages in schools. Recently, we are facing a difficulty that the declining use of Tamil language in at-home domain is very significant. So we are working on these issues, and then through research and teacher training and sharing to other communities also. Because diaspora Tamil communities also depend on us, because we are the role model for them, as we already gone through 200 years plus education, 200 and plus many years of educational achievement and then experience in Tamil language. Okay, the presentation's contents will be Singapore and Tamil language and its usage, introduction, implementation of standard spoken Tamil, impact of standard spoken Tamil, educational research and possible progress. Let me come to my topic for today's presentation. It's a contemporary studies on Tamil language teaching and learning towards a lifelong usage, because we all aim to make Tamil as a living language among the Tamil community and Indian community. You might think about the topic and raise questions on the topic. Yes, every country has its own multicultural community and has witnessed the efforts of each community's pioneers for the development of the community. In Singapore, the Tamil language community also needs to thank its forefathers and the Singapore government for its bilingual policy and the recognition of Tamil as one of its official languages. Okay, the paper will touch on the following pointers: Singapore and Tamil language and its usage, because we have a lot of census data, and then this census data witness that Tamil language is losing its grip in home domains. This is same for Chinese and Malay language. Language policy, learning language and transmission of culture were considered important elements for Singapore's multiracial and multi-ethnic and multilingual communities. This was felt since its independence. Tamil language is not an exception. There is a need to prepare and produce English-speaking Tamils for administrative and communicative purposes. Tamil language teaching and learning has been occurring in Singapore from as early as 1834. It was taught as a subject in Singapore Free School. As there were no suitable teachers and textbooks, the Tamil classes were not sustainable and productive. Later, the community spent its time and effort to establish Tamil schools, that means Tamil medium schools, which are vernacular Tamil schools also. Workers' unions and Tamil community managed to run these schools with their limited resources. It was remarkable time for Tamil language education. The only Tamil high school in Southeast Asia, Umar Pulavar Tamil High School, has closed its doors for the Tamil education. From 1960 onwards, studying Tamil language as the second language was made compulsory in primary school education in Singapore. From 1966 onwards, studying a second language in secondary school became compulsory. In 1966 and 69, second language subjects became compulsory examination subjects in primary and secondary levels, respectively. Because the slides have notes, so maybe you can read some of the key pointers also. Students are studying Tamil language as their mother tongue language, but this is not a heritage language, because here the mother tongue language is used in home domains and community domains. So students will have the receptive language instead of active language. And most of the students have to study Tamil language as their school language. So from kindergarten onwards, most of the students are studying. From primary 1 to O level, that means secondary 5, they have to study as a second language in their school timing. In the JC, that means the pre-university classes also, they have mother tongue classes. If some students are doing very well in their Tamil, means they can stop their Tamil language learning up to the secondary 5. In the pre-university, they do not need to study this language, because they already completed their pre-university education, Tamil education in their secondary school. It is a second language subject. So although it is their mother tongue, they have to give more importance to the English language. English is the communicative and link language among the communities. Managing well to write and score grades. They are very good in scoring grades. But the only problem is using as a functional language. This is the difficulty among the students. They need to have the Tamil language as a fun and cool subject, because they need to have fun with their friends and have to share their jokes and experiences in Tamil. This is a problem nowadays. So most of the parents are speaking English at home. So the children are having difficulty in Tamil classes. That means this needs more awareness among the parents and community. They are strong in their receptive language, pushing it as a functional language at home and community domains is the issue. More children are coming from English-speaking homes. This is a common trend for all three mother tongue languages. Tamil language is not a tool for communication of information. It's a cultural vehicle to transmit life and 21st century skills. Currently, Singapore students study Tamil from primary to secondary schools, but at the same time, they need to use it at the school and then community domain and school domains. But the problem is they are studying for certain number of hours only in Tamil class, but most of the time they are mingling with their multi-ethnic friends because there is not enough critical mass for them to communicate with their Tamil friends, because most of the time they are surrounded by their non-Tamil friends because of the minority community in Singapore. The impact of educational research. So the Professor Schiffman from Pennsylvania University mentioned that we need to use standard spoken Tamil. Previously, the researchers mentioned that literary Tamil is the high variety, spoken variety is the low variety, but within the spoken variety, we have geographical location-based variety and then community groups-based variety and standardized variety among the college students and movie directors and then drama stages. So this standard spoken variety is not a low variety, but it is a highly respectable variety. This is the variety of the educational Tamils. So Professor Schiffman did a lot of research on it, and then we also contributed to the standard spoken Tamil related researches, because the impact and importance of educational research are very important. There are more than 8 research types: quantitative, qualitative, historical research, descriptive research, ethnographic research, applied research, and so on. The impact of standard spoken Tamil related research means we managed to recommend our research findings to the Tamil Language Curriculum and Pedagogy Review Committee in 2005. In 1996, a Sinda Review Committee also mentioned that standard spoken Tamil has to be used in Tamil classroom, so the educators have to work on it and research on it. So our recommendation is accepted. So Ministry of Education recommended that the standard spoken Tamil has to be used in classroom. So when the teacher is using the comprehension passages, the teacher can read written Tamil. That means this is the bookish Tamil. But otherwise, the teacher has to use standard spoken Tamil to explain, to help the students to interact among themselves and with the teacher. We also have publications, workshops, sharing sessions, debate presentations in Singapore and overseas. This is one of the picture is one of the publication in a top tier journal. We also received award for the standard spoken Tamil and pedagogy book from Tanjavur University and Mustafa Educational Trust. We managed to get invitation to share our experiences. The impact and importance of education research is very important. There are many research designs, and we managed to get the research output through citation, praises, publications, invitations, and so on. Okay, in Singapore, also National Institute of Education is leading its educational research, so it is giving more importance for the data collection, analysis, and publication. So this also very important. It has many research centers. One of the centers is Center for Research in Pedagogy and Practice. From 2003 onwards, it is working on its project. Ministry of Education is providing its generous funding to these research projects. So most of the research studies are carried out in the classrooms in Singapore for all subjects. So our research also leading its sharing to schools, leadership, and system studies, teacher professionalism and learning. By the way, our National Institute of Education is preparing the teachers for the Ministry of Education's teacher candidates. It also providing leadership courses and research-related degrees. Life sciences and innovation, lifelong learning, cognition, and well-being also key pointers for the research studies in National Institute of Education. The impact and importance of educational research is continuously, there's a constant research. Our research output will be continuously going on. Then we must continuously learn and generate new research papers and consequently come up with new initiatives for research projects and research publication. The dissemination of new knowledge is critical, and then we can develop the community and our students to the next level by acquiring the new language. Okay, I have a good journey on this Tamil education research. When the CRPP, Center for Research in Pedagogy and Practice, started in 2003, I managed to work on many research projects for Tamil language. So from in a chronological order from now to earlier years, we can see this Singa kids, because now parents are not speaking Tamil, right? So the Ministry of Education comes up with a multi subjects based, multi researchers based research project for $1 million dollars. We have two projects. I'm also co-PI for one of the project. This is to use the AI and AI tutor and chat box to use the Tamil language to the students. So through that, the students will be able to acquire the language, although the parents are not using Tamil language with them. Then I'm also collaborator for children literature related book clubs. Then Tamil diaspora and social life and language is one of the teaching COIL project funding. So through this funding, we are working with overseas Tamil diaspora and how the Tamil teachers can teach the language to make it as a lifelong language in our students' life and then in their family domains also. Then the Singapore primary and secondary students' perceptions on challenges in attainment of Chinese and Tamil composition writing. Now our students have to write through computer for their examination. It will be implemented very soon for most of the streams. So they have to work on computer-based and paper pen-based writing. So we did a research also, but the findings is not out yet. Then evaluative study on the mother tongue support program. When students are having difficulty, we are having mother tongue support program for the students. So that also working for all three mother tongue languages. Then Core 3 research program is a baseline investigation on mother tongue pedagogies in Singapore's primary and secondary classroom. So the researchers will go, I'm only a collaborator only. It's a major group of researchers based research project. They will go to the Tamil classes and Chinese and Malay classes to conduct the qualitative and quantitative based research studies. All these are evidence-based studies. So we will be using these evidences to share what is happening in the classroom, how we can help the students. Creating a corpus data bank for Tamil also, we managed to have nearly 27 classrooms for each stream and level from primary 1 to all the way secondary 5 Tamil classroom. So these are the real evidences that what is the impact of using standard spoken Tamil in Tamil classroom. So far, the findings are very good, but we still need to work on many research papers. Building evidence-based for teacher education. In our teacher education, how we are using mother tongue, how our teachers, pre-service teachers are benefiting, also collaborated and then researched in the Tamil teacher training class. Building an evidence-based teacher education, also phase 1, this is phase 1 and phase 2. So it is continuously going on for every pre-service cohorts of students. Then talk, language and learning in primary 1 and primary 2 lessons. This is a continuation of the another study, because when the syllabus was implemented after the review committee report in 2005, we did a research with the primary 1 and primary 2, Tamil, Malay, Chinese, and English classes and maths classes. Then to home and school transition is very important, because how the students are getting their support for mother tongue in home, literacy events, and then in school. So for this, I was the co-PI and we completed the research. I started my first research project on multiple intelligences in Tamil classroom. From then onwards, we are continuously working on, but now evolution in educational methods is commendable, because we do not need to go to the site to get the research data. Nowadays, we can collect research data through online, remote, and blended learning, through hybrid learning models also, all are very possible because of the COVID. So that was the one good thing for the COVID, after COVID. Then evolution in educational methods, changes in data collection, referencing, social, emotional learning, use of technology, AI, chat GPT, changing assessment and testing methods also nowadays witnessed by the educators from the classrooms. So the educational research articles and approach plays very important place in academic staff's life. Educational research has the power. So through research, we will be able to impact on policy and practices and its own, because these are having their own vitality. So the research brings awareness to the community and equity in the community of students and teachers. So for Tamil language, we managed to witness it through our research studies. for nearly 1 to 3 decades. So I have used these few references, and then we will be continuously using the research papers from our NIE library, and then online library sources and physical sources. This is my acknowledgements, because we use the data to share the qualitative conversations and interactions in the classroom to the research people. But here this is 15 minutes only, so because of the time limit, I did not show all these things. Many thanks for Professor Ganesan, who is the director for this conference, who is continuously putting effort in many new initiatives. He is always on for educational development. So this is very good. We need this kind of people, educators in our community, to develop ourselves and then our future generation. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Sita Lakshmi. Thank you. It was a very informative session. Thank you so much.
Thank you and vanakkam.
Welcome.
I now express my hearty welcome to our honorable keynote speaker, Professor Dr. R. Rajeshwari. Professor Rajeshwari has over 24 years of experience in the field of teaching through service of government institutions. Her expertise does not limit to teaching, as she has successfully published over 80 international national journals on various topics covering electrical and electronics engineering. Her area of interest extends from power systems to soft computing techniques. She has meticulously supervised and guided over 68 PG projects, 48 UG projects, and 12 research on various specializations of EEE, has conducted and attended numerous workshops and delivered lectures at various national and state level faculty programs, workshops, and seminars. She is a Board of Studies member of numerous institutions housing EEE and member of internationally recognized societies such as ISTE and IEEE. She has been bestowed with Senior Educator Scholar Award in the 8th National Teachers' Day Awards 2017, Outstanding Women Educator and Scholar Award in the 10th National Women's Day Awards 2023, and Lifetime Achievement Award in the 14th National Teachers' Day Awards 2023 by the renowned National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore. At present, she serves as professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at Government College of Technology, Coimbatore. I now invite our honorable speaker, Professor Dr. Rajeshwari, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. So first of all, I would like to thank for the given opportunity, the chairperson of this conference and the director, Ramya madam, for this great opportunity. And the conference is actually focusing on the contemporary researches in engineering discipline also. So with respect to that, I focused on the booming technology, which is actually one of the great requirement of our existing grid. So my talk would be about the energy storage technology, which is very, very mandatory for meeting the future, present and future issues to be faced by the power grid. So shall I share my screen, ma'am, now?
Yes, ma'am, you can share. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, your screen is visible. Yeah.
So the energy storage system. See, when we talk about energy storage for our power grid, the power grid is meant for supplying power. So by the presence of electrical power only, we are being connected here in this conference, right? So the power, we need to get a reliable power and also quality power. That is, we are facing some issues in video or the voice. In voice, we face some problem. So that may be due to the quality, the improper quality of the receiving electrical power. So we need to get reliable and also quality power at the receiver end, that is consumer end. So the grid, it is actually is serving that purpose, supplying power to the customer reliably, and the quality supply is being supplied. Therefore, the grid need to be worked with some constraint. We call that constraint as the power balancing constraint. So the power balancing constraint is nothing but the grid is possessing some energy supplying sources like generators, synchronous generators, which produces power, and that power is being supplied to the consumer as customer at the who are all present here and there in our grid, but they are all connected. They are all connected. So the power which is being sent to transferred to the customer end, it must be with proper quality, and also it must be reliable. That is reliable, I mean the continuity in supply. So the grid need to be operated to satisfy this particular operational constraint. That is total generation at all the time. The grid need to satisfy a condition of the total generation must be equal to the demand. Also, the customer end and the power supplying source are being connected through a large network, the network will possess some resistance. Therefore, will be having some losses. So the total generation must also satisfy the losses present in the system. Therefore, the total generation should be equal to the losses.
Excuse me, ma'am. The slides are not moving. It is in the first slide itself.
I'm not.
Oh,
changing.
okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
First slide. So the energy storage means actually earlier our grid was been with very conventional generating sources, that is generators, synchronous generators. But nowadays the energy supplying sources are all we are relying on renewable energy sources, and that too we refer a word variable renewable sources, because when we refer renewable sources, we are focusing on especially on solar and wind. So wind and solar, the energy received or energy harvested on this kind of energy generation, electrical energy generation mode, they are not continuous. We will not be harvesting the continuous energy onto this conversion system. So it is highly intermittent also. Therefore, we need to store energy. We need to store energy whenever it produces more power. So the power injected or power generated by such variable renewable energy sources need to be properly injected onto the grid, and also if suppose they are excess, then need to be stored. So the storage is very essential to accommodate all kinds of renewable sources onto our grid, right? So but earlier the system is being built with very conventional generators, that is synchronous generators, where those generators have one kind of quality called its inherent nature of rotational inertia. See, actually, the stored energy in a synchronous generator is very essential to accommodate any disturbances in the system. See, disturbances, it's nothing but switching on of any appliances in your room is a kind of disturbance. So if you are switching on, the meaning is you are turning on or you are deriving power from the grid. So that unexpected deriving power is an unexpected load onto the grid. So, but the grid need to supply that power also. So in that aspect, if suppose the grid has been operated with the proper planning, in the sense, if suppose solar and wind are being supplying some constant power onto the grid. So with that kind of planning only, we can operate the system with proper power balancing. So power balancing is nothing but total generation must always be equal to the total load and losses. But the power derived from solar and wind will not always be equal or will not always be constant. So that's the main headache of the power system operator, power grid operator. So that's why we go for the energy storage. So whenever it produces more power, that excess power would be stored in the form of electrical energy or in the form of other kind of energy, which could be converted into the energy, electrical energy through some setup, some special kind of setup. So the energy storage is very, very essential to accommodate such kind of disturbances. See, when we look at, see, this slide shows the structure of a power system. Actually, I thought to start with the introduction of power system network. How do we get power at the consumer end? So you can refer here, this is our consumer end. So here the power is being derived from the generating station through a large network called transmission and distribution, where all the segments are being governed by single entity in case of earlier power grid. Whereas now, if you compare with our existing grid, today's grid, look at here, the consumer is being supplied with the electrical power through, again, same scenario, but they are all decentralized. So decentralized in the sense, between the generation, look at the generation part, generation is now being revised. That is, we are using now variable renewable sources, many of renewable sources, but we cannot, where the problem is actually starting from the first point itself. See, if you have the conventional generator, they are all constant power injectors. So the planning is very, very successful here. Whereas here, the power is variable one. It's not constant through this variable renewable sources. So that's the main headache of the operator. So the planning is missing here. So proper planning, if we want to supply reliable power to the consumer, then the power need to be supported with the, so all sources need to be supported with the storage device, energy storage device, because energy, once it has been stored, then the planning of supplying electrical power could be easily possible, because the storage device can able to deliver power for certain time, constant power for certain time. So planning is would be possible only through the energy storage device. Also, our very large time storage devices would be used for planning purpose, and the short-term storage devices are also being applicable, which are being used for certain jerks or oscillations caused by the intermittency property of these power sources, variable renewable energy power sources. So actually earlier, you all should, we should know the dynamics happening onto the grid, which are being suppressed by the conventional generator. See here, the generator is having the rotational inertia. See, the rotational inertia will get power, when it is being rotated through, that is a prime mover, some kind of a prime mover is running the generator. That means mechanical power will be the input to the generator, and that mechanical power is being converted into electrical power. So when it is being rotated, all this rotational part of these machineries will possess some inertia. So the inertia will capable to store some energy. We call that energy as kinetic energy. That kinetic energy is missing in this side, this generation side. So that is the gap. So whenever we focus on the variable and renewable sources, here that component is missing, because when you refer the wind or solar worldwide, we are talking about solar power generation, and we have set some target about the installation of solar power generations, so generating stations. So when we increase such kind of sources, the missing part is the rotational inertia, where the rotational inertia of our conventional generator possesses some energy. And that energy is useful for meeting the dynamics in the sense, the variation in the disturbances. So any kind of disturbances like load increase or load decrease, or any short circuit fault may be considered as an overloading condition. So all such conditions can be met by the stored energy of the generator. So this was the case in the earlier power grid, energy storage in earlier power grid. That is mainly due to the stored kinetic energy of synchronous generator. That is, you all know the generators are nothing but hydro generator or thermal fossil fuel based generators. So fossil fuel in the sense, the turbine, steam turbine would be driving the synchronous generator, right? So here, these kinetic energy, stored kinetic energy will be very, very useful in accommodating any kind of disturbances. Whereas this is missing in our district, that is in case of renewable energy sources. So that's why we go for energy storage, because actually introducing energy storage technology onto the grid, it increases the investment cost. Whereas in earlier grid, we don't need to invest cost on such extra devices. Whereas here nowadays we require this kind of setup, that is energy storage devices, for improving the reliability of supply.
Kindly excuse, ma'am, we have a time limit for each keynote session. Can you please complete it in a minute?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
So that's why the many of research is going on this energy storage technology. Actually, we have so many forms of energy, that is in multiple forms. We have the energy like radiation, chemical, thermal, gravitational potential, and elevated temperature, and latent heat, and kinetic energies. So using that energy, this energy storage actually involves converting this form of energy that are difficult to store, to more conveniently or economically storable form. So we are having so many devices like battery. Battery is one of the device which you all know. So based on the nodal point at which this battery is being employed, rating of the battery, it differs. So we use battery and also flywheel technology. So many devices are there for storing energy, and still research is going on onto this to accommodate renewable energy sources. So we have in GCT, we have published so many papers related to this energy storage technology. So this is actually showing the purpose of storage devices, the need, which I have already devised. Yeah. So this is actually showing about the classification of energy storage systems available. So research is going on in all these classes. So as an engineering candidate, you can extend your work by referring the papers and do the work on to accommodate. That is, for a future grid, we are relying on this energy storage system. So can do the research work on the energy storage system. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very informative. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajeshwari. I now extend my warm welcome to our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Renu Yadav. Dr. Renu Yadav has devoted more than 15 years of teaching in the field of education. Her core research interest includes gender concern in education, socio-emotional skills, women leadership, and teacher education. She is an active member of many administrative and academic bodies of Central University of Haryana, namely the Women Empowerment Cell, Deputy Dean, Students Welfare Nodal Officer, Gender Champion, Teacher Grievances Redressal Committee, ICWAC, School Board and Board of Studies, Curriculum Reform Committee, etc. Her profile also includes program organization for social outreach, namely theater and community engagement. She has organized approximately 200 international and national level, university level seminars, conferences, workshops, and outreach activities. At present, she is the Associate Professor of Department of Education at Central University of Haryana, Mahendragarh. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Renu Yadav, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you so much for your wonderful introduction, and thank you so much, Professor Ganeshan, for inviting me in such a relevant conference. So, as Ma'am said, that my area is gender in higher education, and specifically when we talk about the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, then we have to see that how women are doing in that field and how we can motivate them. So that's the basic, some small outline I'm going to discuss, and I will take care of the time also. So the thing is, when we talk about the gender in STEM, so there are different nuances to it. If we see the data from India, then we are doing well in terms of graduating the students. But when it comes to the employment and the positions at higher level, then it becomes really a challenge. So we have to understand how that journey has happened to women in STEM. As we know that we are doing well in terms of gendering the STEM in higher education specifically. So historically, we have seen that women were in the business, law, and medicine, but now they are having the impressive gain in STEM too. But when it comes to becoming the scientist and engineers, then this number get low down, and we have to understand why it go low down. Then if we see, so before we come to the conclusions and we come to the strategies that how to improve it, so we have to understand what's their you can say the current status in the STEM. So if you see that the all over India, the data from UNESCO, you will find that 35% of the females are in STEM, and many more data are given. So basically, if you see when it comes to the recognition in terms of Nobel Prizes, then there are very few women who have won the Nobel Prizes. 20 have won the Nobel Prizes, and that to some in collaboration. And men have got more Nobel Prizes. So that's showing that there is a very interesting report. If you want to see more about it, there is a UNESCO report, Cracking the Code. So that shows many interesting facts about the women in STEM. And if we see specifically the status of India in the STEM, then there are India top in the world in the producing female graduates recently. It's a 2023 report that where they are saying that 43% of the graduates are female graduates are from India in STEM, but only 14% are employed in the higher positions, or in the higher position are merely 2 to 4%. But if you see the normal level of means middle level and young career researchers, then there are 14%. So there are certain tagging is there when it comes to the STEM. that girls are often believed that they are not smart for the STEM. For example, it happens specifically for maths and technology, that when it comes to maths and technology, generally there are one very interesting activity I have done in my class. We have prepared certain flashcard in terms of the gender. So most of the students who prepared these flashcards, they were saying, oh, maths, oh, it's not my domain, technology, it's not my domain. So very few women are coming, and recently you must have seen that in board of directors and specifically in the financial positions, women are very less, and so that's why there are certain, even this year, the International Women Day also suggests that there should be gender specific budgeting, although it's a very old concept, gender specific budgeting, but many of the even ministries don't know about this gender budgeting. So that shows that when it comes to the gender and financing and gender and in the higher position, then there are many hurdles. So we have to understand that from where we are producing the gendered STEM population, and how that population can help to grow better the Indian economy. So only 81% of the women in India perceive gender bias in performance evaluation. And what happened that if you see the data, I just show you. So these three basic questions we have to understand. But when we say that, why don't women choose them? So where we are, I have already discussed why so few. We have to understand, and how can we encourage the change. So I think when I say that women in STEM, so these three are the basic questions, and we have to understand these basic questions if you really want that, yes, women should be at par with the other genders. Although in gender, when I say gender, there are many more gender also, but I'm merely focusing on the women as a gender. Right. So these three questions we have to understand. So where we are. So if you see with the data also, if you see the Inspire Awards, and it's a very prestigious award in the terms of the science and technology. So the very few women got these fellowship award. Only 23% got this fellowship. Okay. And throughout the country, about 96% of the district participated, with 50% of the girls and 49% of the boys representation. Right. This is the Manak Award, which is for the school students for original ideas. Why I'm giving this data? Just to give you a glimpse that yes, there are, because we have to, and when we talk about the gender, now we merely can't go with the enrollment only. We have to understand the different nuances. There are intersectionalities, and those intersectionalities must be understood. If I say that, for example, even in STEM, if I talk about STEM, then in sciences, there are a good representation of the women in sciences, and especially in biological sciences. But when it comes to mathematics in sciences, then there are enrollment is low. And likewise in technology, if I talk about certain, in computer engineering, there is good representation. But if I talk about the certain branches which are perceived as a male dominated, there the you can say representation is low. So that's why and then also the women representation affected by many other intersectionalities like job, caste, like social status, and all those, and the spouse, if they are married, then the support of the spouse, and likewise there are many factors. So that we have, when I talk about the women in STEM, we have to understand all those intersectionalities. So there, it means when they are graduating from the college and they are not reaching to the top, it means there are certain leakages. So these data that I was talking about, that these data show that there are women in the higher education, but they are not going to the top positions. So some even drop at the PhD level also. If so, mostly they are in the arts. So the basic thing is that many of the time they don't have the understanding that what are the career choices for them in STEM. So that kind of awareness should be there. The third question which I was talking about, that what we can do. So we have to, so for in our school level, there are certain options that should be shared with the girl student in schools, that there are certain Inspire She kind of fellowship, then Pragati fellowship, then Vigyan Jyoti scheme. These schemes are meant for the women who are in the school and want to pursue career in the STEM. And likewise for graduate students also, there are certain schemes which they should know that how they can prosper, because the way I am saying that they are not on the top position. So to encourage them to reach that position and to feel them safe, that yes, there are provisions for them in the even the highest position also, these schemes may help them. Then for postgraduate also, there are certain schemes which should be known to the students. And for same for the PhD scholars also, there are many scholarships and schemes which can help them to retain in STEM and to opt the you can say STEM as a career for whole life, right? And another major dimension which we should explore as mentoring, because every institution has recognized its important. Even UGC has circulated a document, full document on mentoring, why mentoring is required, what kind of mentoring is required in higher education, and how we can do the mentoring. And same is with the report I was talking about, the UNESCO report, that also specifically mentioned that mentoring can be a specific tool to retain the women in the STEM at the highest positions. So mentoring should be there. If mentoring is there, then obviously that will help the women and girls in higher education to pursue their career in the field of the STEM. So these are the certain key components of the mentoring. As we all know that this is very important, and many of us must be doing the mentoring to the students or to our peer group as well. So these are the basics, I can say, that we have to go with the, when I say that so women in retain of the women in STEM is required. So because historically that is you can say the thing has been developed historically, because most women were perceived in the traditional kind of jobs. So most of if we, that's why we can find the women in nursing, women in teaching, but we couldn't find the women in financial boards. So that has to be changed, and there should be growth mindset rather than the stereotype fixed mindset. And it will help not only the women but for the men also to grow further and to improve the, you can say, the careers in STEM. So because growth mindset always emphasize the learning as become the starting point, right? So what should be the intervention? Everyone should intervene in these, because parents and teachers, they should be there. As I said, that they should tell them about the career opportunities. We should praise the students, and especially we should not use certain words, because I have done a full research on is the vocabulary and the STEM women in STEM. So that's very interesting one, although there is no time, so I don't want to dwell more upon that. So negative stereotypes should be likewise this, what I was talking about. Negative stereotypes should be avoided. If I really want that everyone should excel in the STEM, although I'm talking basically about the girls and women, but it will help everyone. There are certain examples which I have given. So so that's why it means we have to understand the women position in the STEM, and the more women must be included at the national level, at the international level. And for that, the budgeting and the finance in STEM is really important, and government is doing very much, very positive towards the like policy implementation and that financing budgeting. So we have to remove the glass ceiling, and the glass ceiling should be broken, and both should come together for betterment of the women in STEM, I can say. So these were the few reflections from my side, and hopefully it was very in a very hurry, but I just want to make you think upon this, that as we all are the group of the intellectuals, so I think we should help the students and specifically the girls who opt the STEM, and we should make them retain to STEM. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Professor Ganeshan and the ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Renio. Thank you so much. It was not hurriedly, but I see you conveyed all the messages in this very short time. So I didn't think you left out any point. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Renio.
Yeah. I now extend my hearty welcome to our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. G. Subbulakshmi. Dr. Subbulakshmi specialized in labor and administrative law and also holds postgraduate diploma in French law, NGO management, and human resource management. She has authored books, edited books, and contributed chapters in contemporary areas of law, including international publications under Routledge, the Taylor and Francis Group. She has presented papers at numerous conferences and delivered special lectures. Her objective is to create awareness and legal awakening among the students' community. She has delivered talks on topics related to Indian laws through YouTube channel to create legal awareness among the public, such as significance of law in society, women's property rights, consumer rights, awareness and redressal mechanism, medical negligence and legal aspects, etc. She is an invited panel judge for moot court competitions. She is the recipient of Young Women in Law Award by Venus International Foundation in 2020, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Lifetime Achievement Award 2020 by IRTP Group of Journals, Distinguished Researcher in Law by RULA and World Research Council in 2020, and also Young Educator and Scholar Award in 2022, as well as Distinguished Educator and Scholar Award in 2023 by National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development. She is currently working as Assistant Professor at School of Law, Pondicherry University at Puducherry. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Dr. Subbulakshmi, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you, madam. I believe I am audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
All right. Iniya Kale Vanakkam, bonjour, and very good morning to all present here. Madam has given a very brief and kind introduction about all the speakers. Thank you for that once again. And I'm Dr. Subbulakshmi, the Assistant Professor from School of Law, Pondicherry University, currently speaking to you. It is definitely a pleasure meeting a group of intellectuals here. Right from the morning, we have been hearing a list of speakers talking on the psychological aspects, how even regrets can be converted to strengths when Dr. Sam was mentioning about that. And Professor Sita Lakshmi was talking about Tamil and Singapore. It was very, very heartening to hear from Madam and Professor Rajeshwari talking on energy. Dr. Renu was talking on the STEM. And, you know, the list goes on. Why am I mentioning all this is only to give you a grip on what I'm going to speak today. That is navigating the frontiers of knowledge, key trends in multidisciplinary approaches in research. At the outset, my heartfelt respects to Professor Ganesan and Ramya ma'am for a well-organized international conference, which you have been doing in a very organized manner year after year. Your preparations, the email reminders, the reminders through our mobile phones, this only indicate that how collectively, you know, the teamwork can take us to different heights. And that is also a learning for us, because as you keep doing this, we are learning how well you are organizing things. Thanks for you. So let me focus on this multidisciplinary approaches. When we say multidisciplinary approaches in research, definitely I believe everyone will agree with me, because right now you can't stay within the walls of your pure sciences or your whatever be your field, the life sciences or the physical education, or it could be social sciences, whatever it is, you can't restrict within your sciences. I truly believe that everyone will, understand and agree, be convinced with what I am speaking here. I do not have a PowerPoint presentation, but this is just, to bring to your kind attention that somewhere we have to act upon this multidisciplinary approaches, and this is the right time. There is a call, and there is a need to look from different domains, from different lenses, so that you do not restrict within your own disciplines. We also see a trend which is evolving, wherein all the disciplines are converging towards one point. The traditional boundaries between these disciplines are really vanishing. It is blurring down. And researchers have thought of doing diverse fields, collaborate with these complex problems. And this convergence in the disciplines will definitely lead to greater outcomes, specifically innovative outcomes, innovative solutions. And you can also draw insights from other disciplines. It will be quite interesting to see a particular problem or a particular challenge from different angles and disciplines. And that is what is the lookout for now. So my key points, let me just list out my key points, and I will be talking on these points. One, to start with the convergence of the disciplines. The next one being data integration and analysis, and interdisciplinary research centers, complex systems of approach, and translational researches, ethical and social implications, and global collaboration. These are the key takeaways, and I would be talking on these titles. So to start with, I have told you about how we can't remain within our own disciplines. And then moving to the next one, data integration and analysis. Now, there is a big race in the big data, the advancements in the data sciences, and researchers are also integrating the data from various sources, various disciplines, and they gain a comprehensive understanding and insights from different domains. No doubt about that. The techniques such as machine learning, network analysis are employed in a very, very meaningful patterns, and it is also helping us to draw some relationship between these domains. Now, focusing into interdisciplinary research centers, that is definitely a need of the day. We can't keep thinking that, for example, if I'm from law, I just cannot be thinking only about the laws and the workability of the laws or the efficiency of the law. I need to test these laws with the society. It is indispensable for us. Wherein, looking at the society, whether the society is accepting a particular law or not, it actually depends on the society only. I would say that if a society feels that the law cannot exist anymore, it is outdated, or it is wrong in the eyes of society, that law will never exist. It has to be removed. So this is just an example that I'm trying to tell you, wherein we have to look from different aspects. Now you take the booming field of IPR, intellectual property, wherein it is having its own demand of the day. So we, from legal aspect, we just can't be looking at the process of filing a grant application alone. We should also understand what is an invention, wherein inventions come from sciences. So there is a need that I need to understand what are these basic inventions, how this invention can become a patentable subject matter. So I need some knowledge from the sciences also. When it is related to copyright issues, I should understand the subject matter of copyright, wherein it allows me to go to the extent of knowing what is a musical work, how, even in the YouTube channels, when people are being very active on these days, posting their reels, posting their remix songs, what kind of rights do they have? To what extent can they explore these rights? All these are, again, the questions right in front of us, and we should understand the technicalities also behind this. And the current AI demands us to definitely peep in and understand what is the AI's role and how we can use AI here. So interdisciplinary research centers are one of the ways in which we can tackle these issues. The higher educational institutions can think about establishing interdisciplinary research centers, and these institutes will actually facilitate the collaboration. Because, this is one way where we can help the researchers break their walls, come out and look into the other disciplines, try to collaborate. And there are a lot of collaborations and funds that are available for in a global level between two countries. If you go for some research aspects, and whenever now we are writing some research proposals, the main attraction or the catch here is whether it is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, then it's a big go. You get a green signal. Otherwise, they are a little reluctant because we really can't stay within the fixed sciences that we are attached to. Of course, that is our base, but we have to look from the other aspects too. That is the call of the day. And the next point would be on complex system approaches. Since, we are looking from different aspects, it will definitely help us to see what are the complexities that arise in front of us, from the social aspect, from the ethical aspect, from the historical approach, from the political approach, and from the sciences. All these things will give us a multidisciplinary approach, and you will have a wholesome understanding of what is the actual problem right in front of us. Within one single framework, we can bring all these understandings. And this complex system approaches will definitely help us for interactions, to identify feedbacks within the systems. And it will also emphasize more on interdisciplinary perspectives, and it will create a new arena of interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary landscape. The next one would be on translational researches. I would like to quote what Madam said here. Dr. Sita Lakshmi was talking about Tamil in Singapore. It was actually nice to know that there are a lot of Tamil speaking people in Singapore. It is one of the official languages there. There is again a demand which is created, wherein all the researches that have been carried out, how can we translate them? Translation here really does not mean by language alone, but transcending this research to each and every domain which can have some lessons and feedback, and indeed it will also provoke more researchers in future. So multidisciplinary teams are focusing more on the translational researches, and it will definitely bridge the gap between a basic research and the real world applications that we are seeing. By integrating this knowledge from various fields, researchers can develop practical solutions. The outcomes are going to be stunning, and it will definitely address the challenges that the society is facing. Please bear with me for always looking from the societal aspect, because we are prone to do that, and ultimately the beneficiaries are in the society. And also the next point would be on ethical and social implications. Multidisciplinary researchers will be addressing ethical, social implications of scientific advances, and researchers are more and more exploring the ethical dimensions. So whenever, we already have this kind of practice, it is not that it is going to be new, but whenever there is a committee, we can see there is a multi-dimensional approach, members from all the domains being part of a committee, so that they can take care of all the, responsibilities and take care of how the research has to be carried out. But the call here is start thinking from interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary approaches. For example, I would say that, again, since I'm from law, if I'm going to do a research on the domestic violences and how domestic violence is going to affect women, I should not stop with just looking at the laws and start, very proudly beating that laws are very effective enough. To some extent, yes, they are effective, but the ground reality is very disheartening, because, I can't stop the research or give my analysis based on the laws alone. I should go to the field, start looking from the society's aspect, and what are the psychological effects that it creates on a working woman, or maybe the domestic violence that they are experiencing at home. So there are different, lenses in which different angles in which we really have to approach this, because we can't ignore the society here for the example which I said. So this is actually just an example. And I would move on to the next point on global collaboration and global collaboration. Collaboration really does not have any borders, I think, and multidisciplinary researchers, international partnerships, enabling the researchers to have access to diverse perspectives, diverse resources, data, all these things will lead to more and more comprehensive and very impactful research, for my understanding. And finally, I think my time is up, but still, let me just give one example from my own experiences. I had an experience in organizing an conference wherein I thought, let me explore from a different field. And that is when I took up law and Tamil. Um, I have a special interest towards Tamil, being a Tamilian, so a person from law. So I thought, let me try this combination, and we had a very fruitful discussion. It was a one-day national conference which was focusing on the influences of Tamil language and literature in law. And beautifully, there are a lot of texts that are available. And again, I'm just pointing this out as an experience here, because there are every possibility that we can collaborate and take up research to the next level. And we can't stay within the same field and look from the other aspects. And there are a lot of resources that are available. And we keep encouraging our students also to take up their researches in a multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary aspect, because research is not going to be just a work that you compile, pile it up, get your degrees and your awards, but it is more that you have to see what you can give back to the society also. That is just a humble submission here. And on the whole, I believe that, I'm not taking much of your time, but still, thanks for giving me this opportunity. And I would conclude by saying that multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary approaches in research will definitely foster more and more innovation. It will have a driving force in the sciences. The sciences will progress, will develop, and definitely it will address all the complex challenges that are in front of us. And indeed, it will make a well-being in the society. And that is what is required for a diverse expertise and a diverse perspectives of research. That is all what I wanted to submit here. And once again, thank you to Professor Ganesan and Ramya ma'am for giving this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Subbulakshmi.
And you can again switch on the video to people who are here to take
the last speaker of the day, Mr. Ovais Khan, is available now. So I want to just take a screenshot of all the speakers.
Whoever is available.
Yes, whoever is available, kindly switch on your video.
Balashmi is there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Oh, okay. Yourself, your director, please include yourself in the screenshot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Subha, for a good explanation and a beautiful presentation. Yes, we will over to Ovais Khan now to take care of that.
So I heartily welcome our distinguished keynote speaker, Mr. Ovais Khan. Mr. Ovais Khan has over 16 years of experience in the IT industry. He's a master black belt, Prince 2 design thinking, agile scrum practitioner. He provides business support to improve the process, identify new opportunities, and implement new technologies. He has conducted numerous technical sessions on digital transformation, business development, social media marketing workshops and demos, data analytics and statistical insights, entrepreneurship development, placement drives, cultural events, seminars, and webinars. He is also into student internships and professional recruitments. He is the recipient of Young Entrepreneur Award in 2019 from NFED. He is also a motivational speaker and student counselor, wherein he facilitates youth communities to choose the right career path and entrepreneurial journey by guiding and mentoring them. His mission is to provide right skills and to groom the students to bring out their best talents. He is the co-founder of Siddhantva Private Limited, Bangalore, Karnataka. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Mr. Ovais Khan, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you. So today I'll be talking about the job readiness or the corporate readiness, which is very essential for students and job seekers. This has become important aspect in any of the universities or institutes for the students or job seekers to actually be ready for what they're looking for. So we will look at what are the aspects that are holding back for anyone to be ready for the next level. And we will also look at what are those skills that each individual has to actually go through and be prepared so that they are not left out in the competitive world that we have. So, starting with what are the uh, areas where we see that the corporate readiness is actually needed. So one of it is because we see there's a lot of gap between the academia and the industry. So whatever we learn as a student, it may not be enough to know what is actually required in the real world situation. So that is one of the aspect which holds us back to understand what is needed for us to upskill ourselves. And we also look at what are those expectations and responsibilities that actually a workplace needs us to be ready with. So that is something that the academia would not have information about. And we also talk about the importance of the practical experience and its impact of employability. So most of the institutes do not have the environment for students to go through the real world environment of the corporate culture. They don't have those skills that are taught in the institute. So that is where we have a lot of gap between these two industries. And then we also look at how do we adapt for rapidly changing work environments. If you look at the current technology, there's a lot of new technologies that are being introduced. There are a lot of new things that comes in the corporate environment, which the students may not be aware. Just like how we are using Zoom now, there are multiple applications that just for a conference that a particular industry or corporate company uses, like Microsoft Teams, they have WebEx, and a lot of other tools which students may not even be aware of, and they struggle with these basic tools and usages that are essential on a day-to-day basis. And we also look at what are those flexibility and resilience in the job market. What are those fluctuations that we see? So we need to have our students be more flexible enough. They should be more prepared for what is coming up in the future. And then we also look at preparing for the roles that may not yet exist. So we see that there are a lot of new roles that are coming in. Everyone is aware of the artificial intelligence taking up with a storm. There are a lot of tools, there are a lot of new initiatives that are coming in. So there might be new roles that may come in. There might be some old roles that are non-existent anymore. So we need to understand what are those new technologies that the companies or the corporate is working on, and then we prepare our students, we prepare our job seekers for that particular roles. So that is very important. We also look at what are those competitive edge. We have to look at how each one stand out in the market. So how am I more equipped or ready to take up a job than anyone else who is currently looking for a job? So that is also more important. We look at what are those contributions, what are those readiness that we take up that we need from day one to be job ready. And we also look at the personal side of it, where we talk about the soft skills along with technical skills. Most of the times, I personally do a lot of corporate interviews. I have seen a lot of students who have a great score in their degree or post graduation, but when it comes to communication, when it comes to talking in the interview, they don't have that skill. So they don't have that communication skill that the companies look for. And just technical skills will not help, because almost all roles now are client facing. So almost everyone in the company would have an interaction with the client. And these clients can be from anywhere in the world. They can be from Australia, they can be from US, they can be from UK, anywhere in the world. So we look for those communication skills, wherein the clients will have that confidence on the organization. So that is something that we look at in terms of why we need the readiness program for students or institutes. Now, we look at the key components that are needed for the corporate readiness. One of the key component is the etiquettes on professionalism and the communication. Here we talk about etiquettes on email. How do we do a business communication? How do we do presentation? If we look at the environment, right, the college environment, not everyone follows the email communication. So they don't, the students may not have exposure to how to respond to an email, how to write an email, what different situations we need to have those business communications done. We also would not have presentation skills properly implemented in colleges. So that is one more reason it is more important for us to look into this. We also look at how do we build networks and relationships. We have seen that most of the job seekers have got a good offer or have been able to get a good position only because they had built a good relationship or a good network with the corporate industry, either through LinkedIn or any social media or any social gathering that we have. So these networks and these relationships help them to be properly placed in an organization which they actually look for. We also look at how does the emotional intelligence work when it comes to teamwork and collaboration. We have seen in corporate industry that it's all about teamwork and collaboration. But when it comes to institutes, when it comes to college, the culture, it's all about competition, right? So how well am I scoring than another student in my class? How well am I scoring in the state? So that's the competition that each one of us are growing with, right? But when it comes to corporate, it's all about teamwork. It's all about how well my team performs and how well do I push my team to perform on this particular project. So that is something that we need to provide to our students. Then we also talk about understanding the corporate structure and dynamics. So we look at the flow hierarchy, who are the decision makers, who are the different people that we can reach out to, what are their authorities that they have. So all these things are something that we need to be aware of when we even start being in a position that we may have to look for a job after 2 or 3 years. We also look at how cross-functional teams work. Most of the times in corporate culture, what happens is if there is a requirement in another team or another division, they would like a particular individual to pitch in and support. So that is kind of things that we need to understand. We need to understand where else can I apply my skills or which other department I can be useful in terms of implementing my own skills. We also look at how office politics works, how the corporate culture works, because there's a lot of political angle in corporate as well. So there may be biases, there may be preferences, there may be a lot of things that the students may have to go through during the initial phase of like 6 months to 1 year. So they need to be well aware how to tackle these situations, how to even respond to these kind of corporate culture. Then we also look at the career management strategies. We look at how well they need to have their career goals. Where do they move forward if they take up a particular role? What is next in that particular role after 2 years, after 4 years, after 5 years? What do I need to achieve? And Also, we need to build the culture of internship, and we also look at how do they gain experience by working with companies who are actually hands-on in terms of project handling and different roles. So currently, most of the institutes, they just make it a mandate that the students have to get an internship letter, but it is not in a way that we don't measure the importance, or we don't measure how well a student has actually gained the knowledge out of the internship. It's just a invitation letter, or it's just a exit letter that they would be seeking for, that student may get from anywhere. Most of the times I have also seen that students pay for the internship letters and they just submit it in the college, but that's not what it is. It's all about being there, working in the corporate environment, and then gaining the knowledge and understanding how the corporate culture works. We also look at how the promotions, how the lateral movements work. Most of the big companies allow the the particular employee to move from one department to another department, from one level to another level. So we need to understand what are those things that we can look into. Then we also talk about what are the practical skills that are needed for the modern workplace. We talk about the digital literacy, technology proficiency. So we have to look at the tools, we have to look at the cybersecurity requirements, we have to be using more collaborative tools. What are those things? And most of the times, if there is a requirement for a employee to work from home, so what are those workplace key important things that we need to look at when we are working from home? So those are few things that we need to be looking at. We also seek that they are ready with project management skills and leadership, because this is more important. It is now in corporate culture, it's not that only if you have a 5 or 10 years of experience is when you actually get more knowledge or you get exposure. You can have leadership the benefits, or you can even be a leader even when you are just 6 months or 1 year old. So you need to have those project management and leadership skills. So that is something that we need to have uh, enforced in the culture of campus. We also look at innovative and problem solving mindset. So the students should have the creative mindset, not just a technical mindset. So these were a few things that we spoke about. Lastly, we have just preparing for global workforce. Most of the times, the companies are multi-national companies. So we need to understand how do we work or collaborate with the other employees or colleagues. What are the different cultures in different countries? How do we have a lifelong learning that we share with these teams? What are those career growth paths that we work on? And we also have to look at our own ethics and social responsibility. So this will help us to build a global workforce as well. So this is something that we have. We have a detailed corporate readiness program for degree and engineering students, which starts from first year onwards till the final year. So this is something that we at Sitandwa are working to prepare the students or job seekers for the corporate environment. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to give a glimpse about what we can work collaboratively. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Weiss. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. Thank you. I thank all the national and international keynote speakers for their venerated presence in this international conference. Thank you all for coming. Welcome back, everyone. I would now like to invite the conference chair, Karmavir Jyoti, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, to share the excerpts of this 3-day international conference.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. A pleasant noon to all, and I intend to place the conference highlights to all of you. The 3-day international conference on contemporary researchers in engineering, science, management, and arts, ICCRESMA 2024, has completed numerous deliberations in terms of keynote address, validated keynote address, and it's going to happen, and paper presentations and participations across the globe. I intend to place the following conference highlights in the capacity as a conference chair and chief patron of ICCRESMA 2024 and founder and chairman of the National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, India. The 3-day international conference has given a lot of insights and exhibited 19 keynote addresses delivered by keynote speakers from Nigeria, United Kingdom, Finland, Sri Lanka, USA, Singapore, Malaysia, South Africa, Canada, and from various states of India, namely Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Punjab, Maharashtra, Haryana, and Puducherry. The keynote speakers of this conference included renowned academicians, entrepreneurs, and professionals across the globe. Another important highlight of the conference is it has given enormous importance to women academicians, which includes the conference director, conference convener, conference co-conveners, conference organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, session chairs, wherein women constitute the maximum numbers in our conference. Also, the majority of participation of ICCRESMA 2024 are from women participants across the nation, and this indicates the National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, India, has been empowering women at all spheres and regards them as a potential workforce for national building and global socio-economic transformation. So coming to the tracks, the session tracks, there are 3 main tracks in this international conference, namely Science, Engineering, Technology, SET, which is track number 1, and Management, Innovation, Entrepreneurship, MEI, that is track number 2, and Arts and Humanities, AHU track, that is track number 3. Across 32 streams under these tracks, which are indicated below. Under the Science SET track, the Science, Engineering, Technology track, there are 17 streams, namely Physics, Chemistry, Mathematics, Botany, Zoology, Biotechnology, Pharmacology, Computer Science Engineering, Information Technology, Computer Applications, Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Electronics and Communication Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, Agricultural Engineering, Civil Engineering, Geology, and Environmental Sciences, wherein it included 85 paper presentations. Under the MEI track, there are 8 streams, namely General Management, Human Resource Management, Organizational Behavior, Marketing, Entrepreneurship, Commerce, Economics, and Systems, wherein it included 25 paper presentations. Under the Arts and Humanities, there are 7 streams, namely Sociology, Psychology, Criminology, History, Education, Literature, and Home Science, wherein it included 33 paper presentations. So there are 143 presentations we received for this conference, which has been scheduled across 9 parallel tracks and 1 individual track, distributed among 19 paper presentation sessions, which are chaired and moderated by 18 session chairs from India. The session chairs are all from Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Punjab, Chandigarh, West Bengal, and Uttar Pradesh. The e-proceedings will cover the abstract submissions only. A total of 121 online paper presentations have been completed until now, as per the tracks, and covering 84.62% of the paper presentations. That is a very huge number, even compared to the last conference, which are only 117, it is constituting 82%, now it's 84.760%, which is one of the remarkable achievements and indomitable accomplishments of our 3-day international conference of ICCRESMA 2024. A total of 228 registered participants from 26 states and 1 union territory out of India's 28 states and 8 union territories, constituting 78% of the participation of the entire India, witnessing vast majority of India's representation across its length and breadth through the academic participation in this international conference, which is our another feather in the cap of NFED, and which has made this possible through the conference director. The research presentations have provided all of us with adequate knowledge sharing and intellectual enlightenment. There's no doubt everybody has presented well, but there are so many things they have to take care of. All the suggestions have been given by session chairs and also the conference chair. The keynotes by various national and international speakers have highlighted on research innovations and new research vistas, importance of interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary research, globalization perspectives, socio-cultural transformation and change management, holistic restructuring, technological advancements, power systems and energy management techniques, mathematical modeling and applications, gamification and trends, digital marketing, managing work-life balance, entrepreneurship development, self and life management skills, Tamil language teaching and practices, women empowerment, education enrichment, and corporate readiness and employability and sustainable development. That is a very vast, you can see that the presentations and by the keynote speakers across the globe. And I am sure the scientific inventions of this conference and technological innovations, management process, artistic approaches, research insights, and humanistic views discussed in this ICCRESMA 2024 have been truly intellectual and indispensable to the global community for sustenance and growth. This knowledge sharing platform paves the way for a holistic global restructuring and transformation in our research innovation endeavors, which is incidentally our theme of the conference. Also, ICCRESMA 2024 has reinvigorated all of us to enrich our research potential and its promulgation through righteous research contributions towards achieving overall socio-economic growth and sustenance. In this context, I want to thank some important people here. One is my hearty congratulations to the conference director, Mrs. Ramya Kandavel, for her indomitable efforts and meticulously conducting and successfully hosting this 3-day ICCRESMA 2024. And secondly, my sincere thanks to the technical aid and advisor, Jaswin Kumar, for his impeccable support to this virtual conference to become a grand success. Lastly, my best wishes to all the keynote speakers, session chairs, conference convener, conference co-conveners, organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, publishing partners, paper authors and presenters, and participants of this international conference. I thank all of you for your continuous support for the last 3 days and making the presentations possible. And we are concluding the presentations by now. And thank you one and all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Professor, for the elaborate excerpts. Thank you so much. I now welcome Ms. Renisha Winston. Ms. Renisha Winston, founder and chairman of I Manage Publications, Nagarkoil, Kanyakumari District, Tamil Nadu, to deliver the publisher's note.
Good evening to all. KVJ Professor R. Ganesan, Conference Chair and Chief Patron, ICCRESMA 2024, and founder and chairman of NFED Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Mrs. Ramya Kandavel, Conference Director and Executive Chairman and Director of NFED. Dr. V. Sunita, Conference Convener and Professor of Geology, Yogi Vemana University. Other conference co-conveners, conference secretaries, session chairs, keynote speakers, participants, paper presenters, a warm greetings to one and all from the publishing partner. It gives me immense pleasure to hear the conference experts from Dr. Ganesan. It's been an overwhelming experience for the past 3 days, and hope you all had an invigorating experience over the past 3 days, listening to 19 keynote speeches and attending innumerable sessions. I wish all this will result in more future researchers in the coming year and in the future. So as a publishing partner, we would like to present a short video that explains the process of publishing followed by us, and the journals published by us are co-publishing process, and the abstracting and indexing covered by us, and few other data. Thank you all.
Can you share the things, video, please?
Oh, sorry.
Please, we don't have time because it's a very short time. We have to start the editing. There's no voice, I think.
You need to click on the share sound option,
Share
Ms.
sound
Renisha.
option.
In the Zoom, you need to click on share sound and then share the PPT. No, she has not shared the sound.
You have to share the sound. You're listening me? Renisha Winston. Let it go on completed and okay, no problem.
Thank you all.
Actually, the sound was not there. We told you to share the sound. There was no sound, no problem. We completed it.
Okay.
So thank you, Ms. Renisha Winston. Thank you so much. We have come to the conclusion of our 3-day international conference. So now we'll move on to the valediction session. So I extend my warm welcome to this valediction. The goal of this international conference is to encourage and promote the research abilities of students, researchers, scholars, academicians, practitioners, and entrepreneurs from various academic institutions, organizations, and corporates, as well as to highlight holistic research contributions in light of current trends and future challenges for societal upliftment and global development. So this conference aimed to be a platform for disseminating the research results in the field of engineering, science, management, and arts without borders, a platform for discussions and opportunities for mutual knowledge sharing. And I'm sure the keynote addresses by various eminent speakers from India and abroad and the paper presentations across the parallel tracks during these 3 days have enlightened the research communities, practitioners, and entrepreneurs. So without further ado, on behalf of the Presidium of NFED, the conference convener, the co-conveners, and the conference chair, I have the immense pleasure in welcoming our today's valedictory keynote speakers, Ms. Devika Rani Vimal, co-founder and Chief Operating Officer of LTT Global Communications Private Limited, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Dr. Luzan Hamilton, Associate Professor of School of Management Studies at Northwest University, South Africa. Ms. Yama Menon, faculty at Bayswater in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And Dr. T. Kumudavali, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Lifelong Learning, Bharathidasan University, Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu. I also heartily welcome all the organizing secretaries, committee members, paper presenters, and participants of our ICCRESMA 2024 to this valediction session.
You can take a screenshot of the people who are present.
Yeah, once we complete Rani Madam's...
Somebody should not leave. We'll take care of that, please.
Yeah. After completing this, we'll move on, sir. So I now have the privilege in welcoming our first valedictory speaker, Ms. Devika Rani Vimal. Ms. Rani Vimal is an accomplished entrepreneur and visionary leader. She was chosen as one of the 100 women founders for the prestigious AWS Women Founders Program in 2023. She's recognized also as Asia's inspirational female business leader and has received numerous accolades, including the Entrepreneurial Excellence Award from NFED for her pioneering work in the field of global mobile learning. In addition to her remarkable achievements, she was honored with Malaysia's Women Leaders Award from the World Women Leadership Congress and Awards. This recognition reflects her profound empathy and an unwavering commitment to driving positive change through EdTech, the focus on impactful projects benefiting women, youth, individuals with special needs, and refugees both locally and globally. Through her work, she powers 7 out of 17 United Nations Sustainable Goals. She is the co-founder and Chief Operating Officer of LTT Global Communications at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So I now invite our distinguished speaker, Mrs. Rani Vimal, to deliver the valedictory address.
Thank you, Mrs. K. Ramya. My respects to Kamavir Jyoti Professor Dr. Ganesan, Founder and Chairman of NFED, to Mrs. K. Ramya, Conference Director of ICCRESMA 2024, and also the Executive Chairman and Director of NFED. To honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rani Vimal from Malaysia, and I'm delighted to be here with all of you today. I'm sure listening to what Prof. Ganesan has shared just now, all of you had insightful discussions and shared knowledge and created meaningful connections as well. India is actually embracing globalization.
Mrs. Vimal, you're not audible. Your screen is frozen. You're not audible.
That success. Oh, not audible?
Yeah, it seems to be there is a connectivity problem at your end. We can see that.
Oh, okay. Just give me a moment, please.
Yeah.
Mrs. Ramya, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, we can. Yeah, you can
Okay,
continue.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I will start again very quickly. I'm sure that all of you had a great 3 days of insightful discussions, shared knowledge, and created meaningful connections. India is embracing globalization, and for all of that to be successful, in this new economy and digital economy, we must have both digital skills and soft skills, which are human skills. So in navigating this dynamic landscape, it's imperative to recognize that success in this new economy hinges not only on technological prowess, but also on cultivating essential human skills. And the fusion of this digital fluency with interpersonal aptitude is the bedrock of success in today's digital age. And as we all know, United Nations has asked all countries to comply with 17 Sustainable Development Goals that have set to achieve a more sustainable world amidst the progress that we are going in. I like to shift our focus to a topic that resonates deeply with the ethos of our time. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Allow me to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Mrs. Ramya. So diversity, equity, and inclusion, a cornerstone for holistic global restructuring. That's my presentation today for all of you as you finish your conference, but I hope you take away some important points that I like to share. So how we achieve all of this is actually we have to practice inclusive leadership. No matter what position we hold in this world today, inclusive leadership is what that will carry us forward in addition to the skills that we possess, right? So inclusive leadership has 6 signature traits. Number 1 is curiosity. Then you have cultural intelligence, you have collaboration skills, commitment, courage, and cognizance. Now, let me start with commitment. Commitment is actually, inclusive leaders should actually practice commitment very, they should take it seriously, yeah? Because as an inclusive leader, you must tirelessly mentor diverse team members and ensure that each voice is heard, right? Not practicing favoritism, but giving equal opportunity for everyone. And this unwavering commitment to diversity and equity will actually transform the workplace into a beacon of inclusivity and innovation. And that's what you want if you want to actually move forward. Everybody should play a part, right? The second is courage. Courage actually challenges the status quo and confronts difficult conversation. And as an inclusive leader, you must be ready to bravely challenge any outdated policies that advocate for inclusivity. You must be able to look at whatever that's existing, and if you feel that it's actually not in favor of progress, you must be able to voice out. And despite facing resistance, if you fearlessly initiate this difficult conversation, highlighting the importance for diversity, your courage will inspire others to speak up and ignite a positive change within your organization. The next is about cognizance of unconscious bias. Did you know that as an inclusive leader, you yourself must acknowledge the biasness that we have? And 99.9% of people in this world all have unconscious biasness. Like when you look at somebody, And if you didn't know this person before, you will judge the way they dress, you will judge the way they speak, and you will make a judgment of this person in your head even before that person is given a chance to present what they want to say. So the most important thing is you must have self-reflection. You must decide to give everyone a chance. You must have an open mind, because these unconscious prejudices that you have, that all of us have, actually affects our decision. And it's an unfair decision because it's based on what we believe and not what is, right? So we must make sure that we are always have a respect for everybody. We must develop our listening skills and make sure that we give people an opportunity to speak. This is very, very important when it comes to practicing diversity and inclusiveness. Yeah. The next is on curiosity. And as leaders, we always will come up with different people in our team that have different ideas and perspectives. And when you're eager to broaden the horizon, you must look and understand and welcome these feedbacks from all team members. You cannot shoot down anybody, right? Because it's not what in line with what you're thinking. Because in the words of Audre Lorde, he said that it's not our differences that divide us, it's our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences in order to actually move towards progress. Okay. And then we have cultural intelligence. And this is about inclusive leaders understanding and respecting diverse cultural norms and values. And I believe that in India, because you have so many different cultures and like, of course, there's one standard culture, but in every region, they have like different practices and all. Y'all are more exposed than anyone else in the world to actually respect these cultures, right? So one of the key when you talk about globalization and understanding cross-cultural practices, this is where it takes you to another level. Because when you actually respect the various customs, the traditions, and the sense of belonging among team members that you have, this will make them more comfortable, and they will also feel that you respect them, and this will create a bond that is very powerful, and it will actually give and drive the organization to much success collectively, right? And then the next point is 6, collaboration. And when we talk about collaboration, we are talking about inclusive leaders encouraging teamwork and also diverse, leveraging on the diverse strength of every team member. Because when you foster a spirit of unity, an inclusive leader champions collaboration among their team. So when we foster an environment where every voice is heard and every person feels valued, this is where you are empowering your team and you will achieve mutual support and growth, right? So why I wanted to share all those things first, because right now we are in a generation of different kinds of generations working together in one place, right? Those days it was different, but today we have the younger generation who are more tech savvy than everyone else. They have a different mindset than everyone else as well. So when it comes to them, they actually look at face-to-face conversations rather than they want to have texting and stuff like that. And also they prefer to have their own workspace in the organization. They also believe that they work harder than the previous generation. And they also want equality, not equity, equality in an organization. Then they prefer to work in organizations that have all these kind of things. And most importantly, they also like to work not just on one job. They like to be multitasking. So if you give them different kinds of job, they enjoy the working environment better, right? So this is the kind of workspace that is going on now. We have the traditionalists who were there in the 1995s, and they have gone slowly, they have disappeared by 2015. So you have got now in this current year onwards, right? We have got the Gen Zs, we have got the millennials, we have got the Gen X, and we have got the boomers. And they all communicate and talk in different ways, right? The baby boomers have a different way. The Gen X, they are having a different mindset. But having to manage all of them in one organization is what makes you an inclusive leader. You must be able to understand and you must be able to adapt. Not only you, but the whole organization, everyone must learn how to adapt and also give and take. Then only you will have harmony in the organization. And also companies now, when they give out benefits, they have to look at 5 generations of people working there so that everyone has a sense of belonging to the company. And within 10 years or not, every one of us will actually be working next to an AI as well. And it's already happening now, but it will get more. So digital proficiency is very, very important. All of you are, I'm sure, is already very good in digital, but you know, there's a lot of people who also fall into this quadrant, right? So you have people who are not good at it, and they also don't want to go and do something about it, right? So this category of people will not grow because they don't want to take the steps to move forward. Then you have got people who are not good at it, but they want to do it. These people will move towards progress. And of course, you have got those people who are good at it, but they don't want to do it, meaning that they have the knowledge, but they don't want to put it into practice. They also will remain stagnant. And then you have got those who are good at it and want to do it. And these are the people who will become leaders. Yeah. So we have 5 generations of technology and 5 generations of people working together. And we have to learn how to embrace them, because with globalization today, if we don't, we cannot work in silos. We cannot just do what we think is the best, right? We must learn how to work together. So let us commit ourselves individually and collectively to champion diversity, advance equity, and foster inclusion into every sphere of our lives. Together, let us architect a future where every voice is heard, every perspective is valued, and every dream is within the reach. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Rani Vimal. Thank you so much for a very interesting and colorful presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's my privilege to welcome our next valedictory speaker, our revered Associate Professor, Dr. Luzanne Hamilton. Yeah, Dr. Hamilton has been involved with various undergraduate and postgraduate modules during her 17-year academic career. Her areas of expertise are business management and entrepreneurship. She has earned a doctorate from Northwest University, South Africa, with a special focus on female entrepreneurship. She did a comparative study between South Africa and the Netherlands in a thesis. Since then, Dr. Hamilton has been the study supervisor for master's as well as PhD students. Currently, she specializes in entrepreneurship and has a research interest in female and student entrepreneurship, focusing on individuals' intentions, skills, motivations, and barriers towards entrepreneurship. Professor Hamilton has presented and published several national and international accredited research outputs. She's serving as reviewer for numerous journals and conferences and acts as external examiner for a number of academic institutions. She's been a member of entrepreneurship development in South Africa since 2020. And currently, she is an associate professor at School of Management Studies, Northwest University, South Africa. I now invite a distinguished
and
speaker.
also the distinguished fellow of NFED.
And also a distinguished fellow of NFED. And yes, before proceeding further, Dr. Hamilton, let us take a group screenshot with all the dignitaries and participants. Yes, just kindly give me a few moments. Let me add on everyone. We'll take a group screenshot. So all the dignitaries, all the participants, organizing members, kindly switch on your videos.
Kumadoli is there?
Yeah, she's there. Yeah.
Yourself, you are not, you are missing
Yes,
in the.
yes, I'm here, I'm here.
Okay.
Please give me a moment. Everyone kindly switch on your videos. Let me add everyone. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Over to Dr. Luzan. And
thank you very much, Prof. Ghani-san, as well as the conference director, everybody present. It's wonderful. It's still afternoon here in South Africa. So from South Africa, good afternoon, but then on your side, good evening. It's a privilege to be part of this conference and yeah, to be here on the closing day. But I would really like to just share something that's close to my heart. And as you heard, that's female entrepreneurship. So can everybody see the screen?
Yes, we can see.
Thank you. All right, as the conference director just said, my passion is female entrepreneurship. So mostly my studies focus on female entrepreneurship and student entrepreneurship. So I would like to share this afternoon just a new perspective that myself and one of my colleagues also have seen, that there's different factors that plays a role in entrepreneurship and not just the normal barriers that we all are aware of, such as personal barriers, etc. But I'll show that to you on the slides. All right, so if we look at entrepreneurship worldwide, why the interest in entrepreneurship? Now, entrepreneurship, as you all know, is being considered as a source for economic growth and development in a country. And entrepreneurs play an important role as drivers that guides economic growth and development in a country throughout their business creation, job opportunities, and innovative ideas. Now, female entrepreneurship has taken a key interest worldwide. And the reason for that being is that researchers realize that female entrepreneurs are actually contributing to a country's economic growth. And so the shift in the research market, if I can put it that way, shifted more towards female students than students, males and females, as they feel that females are contributing more or can contribute more to economic growth and development in a country. So that's why I'm also zooming in on females at the moment, because without them, we won't have economic growth in our countries. Now, just to give you a background on South Africa and why female entrepreneurship is so important in South Africa is, as you all know, South Africa is an emerging economy. We're also one of the largest economies in Africa, but our country are challenged with high socioeconomic problems, high levels of unemployment, poverty, and crime. And currently, we have one of the highest unemployment rates internationally. I've just checked before the conference, and it did go up. It's now on 41.4% is our unemployment rate at the moment, but the female unemployment is also still greater than that of the males, and it's standing on 35.5%. So what is also a worry for our researchers and government is the high unemployment rate of our youth, and that is the new generation. What a lady just said in the previous presentation is that we should be focused on the next generation. So if we focus on our next generation, it's worryingly because our unemployment rate on the youth is starting on 62.1%. So a large portion of the young South Africans consist of university students who is actually the ones that needs to make a fundamental contribution to economic development. So you'll also see that my focus shifted to university students, university females, because they are the ones that we want to get to be able to start businesses in the country. But why do we need entrepreneurship? We need entrepreneurship, We need entrepreneurship for the survival and growth of the country. And the South African government identified that females are really important to the country for economic growth, as well as they also realized that females are confronted with more difficulties than females in other developed countries. And that's when we've realized that we are not facing the same things as the developed countries. Our focus zoomed to some of our colleagues in the Netherlands, and we said to them, but we want to find out what is happening with females and students and youth in the Netherlands. So if we look at the Netherlands context on entrepreneurship, they're a developed nation, and they're one of the robust economies in Europe. Their unemployment rate is on 3.0%, female unemployment on 3.8%, and their youth unemployment on 7.9%. And then we had a discussion with the colleagues that side, and I was visiting the Netherlands October last year, and we said to them, but what is making your country so different? What can we learn from you? Because we're a developing country, and we would like to have that entrepreneurial spirit in our country as well. So they said they have a strong entrepreneurial culture, and their government ensures an entrepreneurial spirit and a promising environment for their entrepreneurs. And we've jotted that down, and we said, but now we can go and do some research. And we said, but what is making people to go entrepreneurial? What is forcing them? What behavior is zooming in on them to be entrepreneurial? And that is entrepreneurial intention. So entrepreneurial intention, if we go to the literature, the definition says it's the deliberate behavior to start a business and to become an entrepreneur. So we said, okay, let's go and look at entrepreneurial intention. But if we look at intention, there's also different factors that support or act as a barrier for such behavior. Now, we all know the normal barriers that influence entrepreneurial intention. And if we go to the literature, there's numerous entrepreneurial intention barriers. There's, like I said in the beginning, there's personal and personality factors that influence entrepreneurial intention. So we dug a little bit deeper, and we said, but there should be more into this. And then we came across on environmental factors. So there's factors in the business environment, the macro environment, task and general environment factors that plays a huge role on influencing people or entrepreneurs or females to become entrepreneurial. And then we decided to take this research a bit further and then look at task environment and general environment factors. Now, if we go to task environment factors, we define that as matters directly impacting the entrepreneurs to do business, where general environment factors is all the factors outside the business that can have an influence on an entrepreneur's behavior. All right, there's just a visual illustration of it. So we said, but if we look at intention, there's two different factors that can influence intention, and that's task environment and general environment. And if we take it further, we say the external environment is influencing the intention. So in task environment, that may include competitors, customers, supply of materials. And if we look at general environment, that is normally your economic, your political, and your legal environments that can influence an entrepreneur's likelihood to become entrepreneurial. So what was the aim of this study? The aim of the study was to determine the environmental factors impacting South African and Dutch female students' entrepreneurial intention, and to determine whether there was differences between these two countries' perceived environmental barriers. Because now we had spoken to these people, we wanted to test the qualitative side of it. So when we went to the literature, we've seen that several studies performed on the factors impacting entrepreneurial intention. But after we've done a vast research, we revealed that there's no similar studies, competitive studies or comparative studies that focused on the environmental factors impacting female students' entrepreneurial intention. So if we look at the methodology, the research methodology of this study, we've made use of 400 students from 2 different HEI campuses. So the one was situated in South Africa and the other one was situated in the Netherlands. We focused on undergraduate female students only. So they were between the ages of 18 to 24 years. And we've made use of a self-administered questionnaire where we've divided into 2 sections with demographic information and then also environmental barriers, the task and the general environmental barriers there. So in total, we've collected 800 questionnaires and we made use of non-probability convenience sample. The study was piloted on 80 students that did not form part of the main study. All right, at the end, the demographics, 62% of the data was collected by South Africans. It was convenient, and 38% was the Netherlands. There you can also see that 18.4% of them were 19 years of age in South Africa, and 18.4% was coincidence, was 80 years of age in the Netherlands as well. They were mostly first-year students. It was easier to gain questionnaires from first-year students, so 34.7% in South Africa and 56.3% in the Netherlands. The Cronbach alphas were high and the inter-item correlation, so we've determined reliability and validity of the scale as well. Okay, we made use of descriptive analysis to see what was the recorded means, and the highest mean for South Africa was for the political and legal environment that was standing on 3.679. And this was interesting because we knew in the back of our heads that the political and legal environment, if we look at the social economic problems that I've indicated in the beginning, the country faces, this actually made sense. That local infrastructure, crime and corruption plays a huge role or has a big effect on these ladies' entrepreneurial intention. And in the Netherlands, the highest mean was on economic and environment, and they said they lack own financial resources. And that also made sense to us because if we looked at our conversations with the Dutch, where they said that their government are striving to provide people with funding and business opportunities, but they lack their own financial resources. We've also looked at one-way ANOVA because we wanted to see if there was a statistical significant difference between the means of the barriers or the environments that we've indicated. And we've seen for task environment and for political and legal environment, it was significant. There wasn't any differences, but it lies on economic environment. And then we could conclude, and we said that, but we've noticed that environmental factors such as task and general environment factors do have a significant impact on student or female students' entrepreneurial intention. And we said that South African female students perceive that local infrastructure such as crime and corruption impact their entrepreneurial intention. And the Dutch, like we've seen in the previous slide, perceive that lack of own financial resources mostly influence their intention. We also concluded that the two countries had opposing perceptions on the level of influence of obtaining a business, because we've seen now here in the previous slide on the economic and environment sector or barrier there. So they felt that a business premise, competition and legislation and crime impacts them to become entrepreneurial, but they have opposing views to that. And then we conclude and we said, but possible reasons for the difference here might be that the two countries have different entrepreneurial climates, and the fact that South African females are constrained with more social economic problems than in the developed country. So then we came together and say, but we need to do something with this data. We need to go to our government or to institutions. And we said, but the suggestion that we make here, like the lady mentioned in the beginning, I'm also part of entrepreneurial development in South Africa, the EDHE. So we're going to take this data to them where we say that government should offer subject-specific training sessions. What we mean by that is it needs to be workshops that are going to help these female entrepreneurs to obtain the knowledge they need. For example, a workshop on how to obtain a premise, how to obtain finance, not just the general ones on how to write a business plan or how to obtain or identify a business idea, but to actually indicate to them how to find the premise and how to obtain the finance. And we also need to provide tax incentive programs, grants and loans to assist females to start businesses. We know our government are doing something, but we think that there's more workshops and more programs that can be rolled out, because we've seen the seriousness of getting females involved and to turn the economic environment around. Right, any questions?
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so
Luzan.
much.
Yes, thank
Anybody
you.
interested in female entrepreneurship are more than welcome to give me a call.
You can continue with me with the collaboration.
Yes, we can. We can definitely, Prof. We need to get that on the roll.
I request Madam Rani to be a part of it, to take a lead on this. And of course, you know, Mr. Vice Khan will be there. And we will have the synergy soon. And we'll make it happen. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you,
We'll
Prof.
make it a good visit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Luzan. I now express my hearty welcome to our revered keynote speaker, Ms. Yama Menon. Ms. Yama Menon is into the field of education for over 4 decades, involved in teaching, administration, as well as various other work related to education. She took up teaching after giving up a lucrative auditor's job with the Accountant General's office. She has taught various age groups ranging from 3 years to 85-year-old. She was holding a university job in Muscat, where she was involved in umpteen fundraisers involving her students to help children with special needs. She has also been a psychological counselor for students as well as parents all through her career. She is also a yoga trainer and a Gurdjieff movement dancer or practitioner. Currently, she is a faculty at Bayswater in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, teaching English as a second language to international students. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Ms. Yama Menon, to deliver the valedictory address.
Thank you very much. It's good morning for me. It's nearly 4 in the morning.
Oh.
Good afternoon to who, and good evening to.
It's a good evening to us and a good morning to you.
Yeah. Yes, good morning to me.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming in this wake of this morning, despite of all the chill weather, and I appreciate your presence. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ganesh, and thank you to NFED for organizing this massive thing. Really, I'm amazed at the length and the depth of how much you have gone through. Okay, so my topic for today is, gamification, revolutionizing engagement, learning, and beyond. So my esteemed worldwide colleagues, distinguished guests, and fellow enthusiasts of innovation, lend me your ears to my little discourse as we embark on a profound exploration of the transformative force that is reshaping our understanding of motivation, interaction, and education, what we call gamification. Through this talk, we shall embark on an odyssey of discovery, traversing the vast expanse of gamified landscapes, from its inception to its applications, from its advantages to its challenges, culminating in its profound impact on the educational landscape and beyond. Gamification at its core represents the strategic integration of game mechanics and dynamics into a non-game context to elicit engagement, solve problems, and drive desired behaviors. By infusing elements such as points, badges, levels, quests, and rewards into everyday activities, gamification harnesses the innate human inclination towards play, competition, and achievement to motivate action and foster participation. Let's take a look at the history and evolution of gamification. To truly appreciate the transformative potential of gamification, it is essential to understand its historical roots and evolutionary trajectory. While the term gamification may be relatively recent, its underlying principles have been present throughout human history. From the playful competitions of ancient civilizations to the structured reward systems of early educational institutions, the desire to engage, motivate, and reward individuals through game-like experiences is deeply ingrained in our collective psyche. The modern concept of gamification emerged in the early 21st century, fueled by advancement in technology, psychology, and game design. Pioneers such as Jane McGonigal, Sebastian Dieterding, and Yu-Kai Chao helped popularize the concept and its potential applications across diverse domains. As digital technologies became increasingly pervasive, the opportunities for gamification expanded exponentially, giving rise to a thriving ecosystem of gamified experiences in fields ranging from marketing and healthcare to education and beyond. Turning to the applications of gamification. The canvas upon gamification paints, its masterpiece, extends far beyond the boundaries of traditional gaming domains. In marketing, for instance, brands employ gamified loyalty programs to cultivate customer engagement and loyalty, leveraging rewards and challenges to captivate audiences and encourage repeat purchases. Fitness applications such as Strava or Fitbit gamify exercise routines, transforming physical activity into a thrilling journey of personal achievement and community interaction. What is more, gamification has permeated the realm of productivity with employment engagement, with companies leveraging gamified systems to incentivize desired behaviors, promote teamwork, and enhance workplace culture. From corporate training programs to employee recognition initiatives, gamification offers a versatile toolkit for motivating and empowering individuals to excel in their professional endeavors. Let us now take a look at the pros and cons of gamification. As with any transformative innovation, gamification presents both opportunities and challenges. On the one hand, its ability to tap into intrinsic motivators such as autonomy, mastery, and purpose enables sustained engagement and drives behavioral change. By scaffolding experiences that provide clear goals, meaningful feedback, and a sense of progression, gamified systems inspire individuals to strive for excellence and unlock their full potential. On the other hand, there are concerns about the potential for gamification to lead to superficial engagement or reliance on extrinsic rewards. Critics argue that gamified experiences may prioritize short-term gratification over long-term learning or development, dealing participants to focus solely on achieving rewards rather than internalizing knowledge or developing essential skills. Moreover, poorly designed gamified systems may exacerbate issues such as addiction, exclusion, or unethical behavior, raising questions about the ethical implications of gamification in certain contexts. Now, let us take a look at the gamification in education. In the realm of education, where the transformative potential of gamification shines most brilliantly, traditional pedagogical approaches with their rigid structures and passive learning paradigms often struggle to captivate the hearts and minds of students. However, by infusing educational experiences with elements of play, challenge, and discovery, educators can create dynamic learning environments that inspire curiosity, foster creativity, and promote deep engagement. Consider, for instance, the gamified language learning platform Duolingo, which transforms the arduous task of acquiring a new language into a delightful journey of exploration and discovery. Through interactive exercises, personalized challenges, and a sense of progression, learners are motivated to return day after day, eagerly advancing towards fluency. Over and above that, gamification offers educators a powerful toolkit for promoting active learning, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. Whether through immersive simulations, collaborative quests, or competitive challenges, students are empowered to apply their knowledge in real-world contexts, experiment with different solutions, and learn from their successes and failures. In the context of higher education, gamification holds immense promise of transforming lecture halls into a dynamic arenas of exploration for debates. Imagine, for instance, a history class where students assume the roles of historical figures, navigating complex political landscapes and shaping the course of events through their decisions and actions. Such immersive simulations not only deepen students' understanding of historical events, but also cultivate empathy, critical thinking, and ethical reasoning. To conclude, gamification stands as a testament to the boundless creativity and ingenuity of the human spirit. By harnessing the power of play to inspire, motivate, and empower individuals across diverse contexts, we have the opportunity to revolutionize engagement, learning, and beyond. As we continue to explore and refine gamification strategies, let us as educators remain steadfast in our commitment to fostering environments that ignite curiosity, cultivate collaboration, and unlock human potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Syamamen. Thank you so much
You're
for your
welcome.
delightful presentation. Thank you so much. I now welcome our next valedictory speaker, Dr. T. Kumudavalli. Dr. Kumudavalli has a wide range of experience in teaching, research and extension and field outreach activities for about 19 years. She has 14 years of teaching experience in the human resource management field at university level and 7 years of extension work experience in various non-governmental and governmental projects. She was initially posed as health educator and gradually enhanced her title to social scientist in government watershed development project researcher in Violence Against Women Project, program officer in Jan Shiksha Sansthan, a central government-aided project at Trichy, project coordinator in UGC, sponsored adult continuing education and extension and field outreach project of the Department of Lifelong Learning, Bharathidasan University. She has published 35 articles in various books and journals at national and international levels. Her areas of interest include human resource management, adult continuing and extension education, and vocational education and rural development. She has organized several awareness training courses, activity-oriented programs, seminars, and workshops for various groups of people at diverse levels. In commemorating her remarkable achievements in the field of research and teaching, she was bestowed with Distinguished Educator and Scholar Award by NFED. Currently, she serves as Assistant Professor and Head of the Department of Lifelong Learning at Bharathidasan University, Trichy. I now invite our distinguished speaker, Assistant Professor Dr. Kumudavali, to deliver the valedictory address. And kindly unmute yourself, yes.
Madam, actually,
you have logged in 2 devices, ma'am. You need to mute one of the devices.
Okay, it is audible, ma'am.
It is audible.
So just a minute.
Just decrease the volume or mute the other device.
So is it audible, ma'am?
I think this is clear, ma'am. Maybe you can log out of the other device.
Just leaving from that device.
Yeah, thank you.
So, good evening, everyone. So it's a great opportunity for me. I must thank the chairman and director for giving this great opportunity. So ladies and gentlemen, good evening to one and all joined here. A warm welcome to all of you for this valedictory function. So I'm really happy to be a part of this program. It's an honor for me to share my thoughts before this august gatherings at this valedictory note. So I'm grateful to Dr. Ganesan, founder and chairman, and Ramya Kandave, executive chairman and director, for this opportunity. So, and I really appreciate the effort they have put in to make this a success, and for the kind of team and the sub teams they have addressed, and for the amazing guest speakers, participants they have drawn for this conference, without which this conference would have not been possible. So I wish to extend my sincere credits to the conference convener, co-conveners, associate conveners, organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, on all the keynote speakers, valedictory keynote speakers, and all other dignitaries and valuable participants from all over the world to this conference. I welcome you all for this session. So we all know that the conference through online gives us the great opportunity to participate from our own place itself. It's a great advantage for all of us. So it's actually connects countless academics together to share their views about the particular theme. It is worthy to know that Dr. Ganesan, who has connected me with this forum and to be here today, and we have reached to an end of these 3 days conference, and they have brought together to intelligent mind with the torrents of information, ideas, and have shared a wealth of experiences and knowledges. I could say that NFED is gaining worldwide appreciations, and congratulations and best wishes to them. And the topic that is actually given to me is restructuring the mindset of the people. So from my personal experiences, I found some following points, and suggesting you all to rethink of it. So at community level, we have problems like caste, race, color discriminations, and the related issues. As human beings, we fail to forget the equality in all aspects. We may rethink of it. At family level, we have much discriminations with regard to gender, income earners, and having big house with all sort of facilities is a pride for us, and living like others, not like us. And we are seeing others and try to replicate the same, which is to be avoided. At an individual level, the mindsets are very different. Even when we see the accidents and the people suffering outside, needing help on spot, and some are just passing without caring anything. If you're there, what will happen? So likewise in medical shop also, some shops, if they supply the expired medicines, someone is buying without noting it, what happens? After seeing it, he may come and replace the medicine for his benefit only. What about the illiterate and less educated people? As educated, we are, what are we all doing it? What we are doing it for? So whether we are raising our voice against them or not, rethink of it. If needed, change your mindset. In politics and other general issues also, we have to give care to these issues also. Big turns will happen only when people take effective measures. As a citizens of some nations, we have to record our views sincerely. In most times, we keep quiet and not even screening our disagreements that need to be restructured. In research field, only thematic suggested studies are happening. A large amount was spent on it, but the impact is very less. In most cases, no, we need action-oriented, result-oriented researchers for observable results. As academicians, we may rethink of it. And higher authorities and policy-making bodies are providing importance for planning and not for implementation. We may, as part of those bodies, thousands of crores of funds are spent for these projects. If it has been given to 1 crore to one individual, means the whole problem might be solved. We may also rethink of it. So out of boundary thinking is also needed. For every problem, we have 10 plus solution, 100 plus solution, but the routine solution is one. So we think that the problem cannot be solved. This kind of mindset is supposed to be restructured. In education system, some changes are needed. Theories in all subjects may also have a practical sessions to understand more effectively. Vocational educations can be replaced for theories. Life skills education, moral values, entrepreneurial thoughts can be included in the regular education system. We may also consider the interest of the students. The rules and procedures we are been following only for subordinates who are below our rank, not for the superiors and for the rich people. A rule is common for all, means we have to follow it for all people. Just for the benefits, we break everything and we impose all strict rules only for the poor people and people below our rank. So we have to rethink of it. All kinds of rituals. Next point is the rituals related point. All kinds of rituals and irrational beliefs are needed to be rethink of it, because some past situations where existing knowledge may be forced to those beliefs without knowing that fact and its applicability. Now it is just not needed to follow it. Hence I suggest you to rethink of it. People needed to rethink of nature and the connected lifestyle. We actually miss of it. We are now not caring our environment, its negative consequences. I induce everyone to rethink of it. Plant at least one sapling for one person. Lots of books are available for restructuring of minds of people, especially the book named Restructuring Your Mindset, How to Reframe Your Brain to Fight Against Anxiety with the Success by Robert M. Elias. It's an amazing book, provides readers with step-by-step manual for altering their thoughts and for enhancing their lifestyles. Cognitive restructuring is a key component of cognitive behavioral therapy. It involves identifying negative and distorted thoughts, beliefs, attitudes that contribute to mental health problem and replacing them with more accurate and positive ones. This technique aims to change the way of the people to think about themselves and others and world around them in order to improve their emotional well-being. In this session, we'll dive into the role of cognitive restructuring and how it can be used to help the individuals to overcome the variety of mental health issues. The first step in cognitive restructuring is to identify the negative and irrational thoughts that contribute to the negative emotions such as anxiety, depression, or anger. This can include the thoughts such as I'm worthless, I will never be good enough, or everyone is against me. Once these thoughts have been identified, they are changed and replaced with more positive and realistic ones. For example, I may have made mistakes, but I'm still a valuable person, or I'm capable of achieving my goals with hard work and determination. So like that, we have to change it. Cognitive restructuring is important because it helps the individuals to recognize the role that their thoughts and beliefs plays in their mental health. So by changing the negative and distorted thoughts, the individual can learn to view the situation in a more positive and realistic light, and reducing the feeling of anxiety, depression, and stress. So additionally, cognitive restructuring can improve the self-esteem, increase motivation, and enhance the problem-solving skills. The process of cognitive restructuring involves many steps. Negative thoughts, first we have to identify it and write down all the negative thoughts, and then individual is asked to evaluate the evidence for and against those thoughts. And this helps to change the accuracy of these thoughts and replace them with more positive and realistic one. And finally, the individual is encouraged to practice these new thoughts and beliefs in real life situation to reinforce their effectiveness. Cognitive restructuring has been shown to be effective in treating variety of mental health issues, including anxiety disorders, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. By changing unwanted thoughts, individuals can learn to manage their emotions more effectively and reducing the severity and frequency of the symptoms. Cognitive restructuring is also having many techniques to solve the problems relating with the mind. It includes Socratic questioning, thoughts recording, and behavioral experiments. Socratic questioning involves asking individuals to examine the evidences for and against negative thoughts, helping them to change their accuracy and thoughts. Thoughts recording involves keeping the journal of negative thoughts and replacing them with more positive and realistic ones. Behavioral experiments involves testing the negative beliefs in real life situation to change their accuracy and effectiveness. The role of therapist in cognitive restructuring is to guide the individual through the process of identifying and challenging changing the negative thoughts. Therapists may use a variety of techniques to help the individuals to recognize the role that their thoughts and beliefs play in their mental health. So some best quotes are also there. Benjamin Franklin, he has said that do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight. Likewise, Winston Churchill has also said, a pessimist see the difficulties in every opportunity, and optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulties. Martin Luther, he said that even if I know that tomorrow I would go, the world would go to the peace, I will still plant a tree. So by following these codes, the people are responsible for our achievements, success, happiness, and all forms of developments in us. And it is a responsibility of us to tune with the right frequency and to avoid harmful vibes. Thank you so much for giving this great opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kumbudavali. That was a very valuable session on the mental health issues and its importance we're talking. Thank you so much. So may I now request a few participants to share the thoughts and memories about this 3-day international conference. Participants who are willing to share, you can unmute yourself. Anyone is willing to give any feedback, any memories you want to share for a few minutes?
Recording in progress.
I guess there is no one.
Yeah.
So we'll conclude, sir. We'll
Yeah, please.
conclude. Yeah. So
If Ronnie will want to say something, she can say.
No.
Okay, fine.
No, congratulations on an amazing 3-day conference. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So on behalf of the Presidium of NFED, I express my sincere thanks to Conference Chair and Chief Patron, Honorable Chairman Karmavir Jyoti, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, for successfully organizing and hosting this international conference. I wholeheartedly thank the conference convener, Professor Dr. V. Sunita, and conference co-conveners, Assistant Professor Dr. Beulah Belbensi and Professor Dr. Aarti Chandani for their efforts and contribution to this international conference. I express my hearty thanks to all the honorable international keynote speakers, Professor Patrick Oviazui, Mr. Nandakumar, Professor Jerry Salo, Dr. Anuzia, Dr. Baby Sam, and Dr. Sita Lakshmi for their august presence and enthralling keynote deliverance. I also heartily thank the honorable national keynote speakers, Dr. Gurmit Singh, Ms. Kavita Kulkarni, Professor Dr. Vijaya, Professor Farida Virani, Ms. D. Sushmita, Dr. Rajeshwari, Dr. Renu Yadav, Dr. G. Subbulakshmi, and Mr. Ovais Khan for their benign presence and enlivening keynote address. I also express my sincere thanks to the distinguished valedictory speakers, Ms. Devika Rani Vimal, Dr. Luzanne Hamilton, Ms. Yama Menon, and Dr. Kumudavali for their esteemed presence and exuberant valedictory address. I extend my profound gratitude to all the session chairs from different states of India for their invaluable time and scholarly services. I express my sincere thanks to the organizing secretaries and committee members and facilitators of NFED for their continuous support in successfully conducting this 3-day international conference. I also thank iManager Publications for supporting as publishing partner for ICCRESMA 2024. And a sincere thanks to all the authors and research scholars from various academic organizations for submitting their research contributions to this international conference. We heartily thank the media, our friends, for their constant encouragement and support for publicizing the international conference on contemporary researchers in engineering, science, management, and arts, ICCRESMA 2024, across their networks and groups. So thank you, everyone. Let us all now rise for the national anthem.